See if anyone comes around. It's been so long, I don't think you guys even know I have a channel anymore. This might take a while. I'll probably wait like a few minutes. If no one comes around, I'll call it. Someone's there. Okay, we got 2 people. What's happening, guys? Those of you that have joined. I know it's been a long time. I didn't get a beer. Hold on, I'm gonna get a beer. If you guys wanna have a beer, join me. Go with the Sierra Nevada today. Use a Unamzon to pop it. Cheers, guys. Those of you that have joined. There's only 4 there. Hey, Josh. Yeah, everything's all right, man. Thanks for listening. Hey, James. Yeah, just everything's all right. I gotta say, I'm healthy. I'm getting back to being happy, I guess. I mean, I'm always happy, but shit's hit the fan for sure. It's been rough the last few months. Hey, Rodney. Everything's going. It's going, man. I don't think anyone's life is going as smoothly as they had hoped for when 2020 started. But yeah, I mean, things are going. I'm working. I'm healthy. I really got nothing to complain about. Cheers. Cheers, Deborah. I can't really complain. There's a lot of people out there without work, and I've been working throughout this whole thing, so I really can't complain. And I still, have a place to live. I've got food. I've got clothes on my back. I've been, like I said, I've been healthy, which I have been for a long time. I haven't been sick in years, man. I can't even remember the last time I was sick. So for someone to force me to wear a mask is pretty ridiculous. Hey, what's up? What's up, Mike? New Jersey. Man, you've had it rough the last 6 months, but I've had it rough in California here too, but yeah. I have changed careers, not necessarily changed too far from what I've been doing throughout my adult life. As you guys, if you've been watching my channel for a while now, you know that I worked at a surf shop. I did a lot of cutting cardboard and cutting boxes down, so that really helped with being able to really put these knives to test and be able to use them in for extensive amount of cutting. More of an edge retention type of cutting though, with cutting cardboard, you're not doing as much edge stability testing. It's really more edge retention, or I know those are actually very close together. I don't think people realize that either. Edge stability has a lot to do with edge retention. It really still is edge stability. It's how long that edge holds before it starts to fold over and deflect. Welders, oh yeah, if you're a welder, you've been rocking this whole time, man. If you're in construction as well, it seems like that hasn't really been affected. And that's actually what I've gotten into. I was working in the surf shop for a while there, but I ended up going back to the place I worked at before I worked at the surf shop, which is as a carpenter, which is what I did for 10 years. Pretty much all of my 20s, I was a carpenter, Finnish carpenter on fine yachts. So, and I did everything. It wasn't just Finnish carpentry. I would do anything and everything, whether it was metal work or any of that stuff. Yeah, Deborah, 2020's been pretty horrible. And on top of all of what 2020 has held for everybody. 2020 has been a rough one, especially for me. Even though you see I am still in the same place I've been at throughout my channel. You might notice, if you've been with my channel since the beginning, you might notice some things missing from the back here. Yeah, it's been interesting for me, 2020. But with that being said, you know, in the end, I was a lone wolf to start, and again, I'm a lone wolf. I still have all my friends, obviously, and that changes as well throughout your adult life for most of you that know that. You know, as we grow older, the friends we thought were going to be there throughout your whole life aren't there anymore, and the ones you know, didn't think anything of are now even better friends than they were before. So it's an interesting life, you know. It's a roller coaster ride, to say the least. So yeah, 2020 has been a rough one for sure for all of us, but I've had an especially tough time at, you know, at times. Hey Penny, welcome. And this is probably my second live ever. I don't even know. I haven't done very many lives, but I figured I've been absent with YouTube for a while now, and I felt like you guys deserve an explanation, at least in a sense, of me just coming out, and not even an explanation, just like letting you guys know where I stand, what's going on, where my channel stands, what I plan for my channel in the future. And that's really what this is all about. I really wanted to touch base with my subscribers, you guys, and I really do appreciate all these guys, all the new subscribers that have been here since I haven't even made new videos, and then all the old people that have been here since the beginning. I appreciate all of it. I appreciate all you guys. I know there's a lot of channels out there, and I'm not as... My videos are longer, and they definitely require more of somebody that is looking for an extensive type of review. And it's tough with the way I do my reviews. It's tough to keep going because I get a lot of negative people just saying, oh God, this could have been a 7-minute video. And it's like, dude, shit, there's plenty of 7-minute reviews out there. Like, go watch Slicey Dicey. Go watch these guys that get a knife and review it a day later and give you a 5-minute review. You're pretty much looking at a first impression video of most of these other, you know, and I'm not talking shit. It's just, it is the way it is. I mean, a lot of people don't use their knives extensively, you know, so I try, when I do my videos, I try to get as extensive as I possibly can. I want to be as thorough as I can so that I can put the knife in your hands. That's essentially what I've been thinking from the beginning, is I want you to be able to almost close your eyes and listen to it and be able to imagine what the knife is like. And that's why I do, you know, sometimes I do extensive like size comparisons and stuff like that. And it's because, like, you know, I could just get a PM2 and just go, this is my size comparison. There you go. But what happens if you don't have a PM2? You know, there's a lot of people out there that don't have PM2s. I don't have a PM2 right now because I don't like it. Thanks, Mike. I really appreciate it. It's really guys, it's guys like you that kept me going, you know, through all this. Because there have been a lot of negative comments as well. And I'm subjecting myself to that. And negative comments are bad. There have been negative comments that made me realize, like, maybe I need to reformat what I'm doing. Maybe I need to reconsider what I'm doing. So there have been negative comments. It's all about comments in general, and I love the fact that we can, you know, converse and go back and forth. And yeah, thanks a lot. It's been, you know, it's all about that conversation, and I love to essentially make my channel better with your guys' comments, but at the same time, someone telling me my videos are too long, that's not a productive comment. If you want to say, like, hey, can you give me a, you know, I've had guys that said, can you do the time lapse type thing where I give you a time where you like click this and it takes you to where I'm done with my hype, whatever, and you go straight to reality. I definitely could do that, but the problem is in reality, yeah, you're right. It's not for everybody. And that's the thing is there's tons of knives out there. There's tons of channels out there. If I'm not for you, that's just the way it is. And there's plenty of people out there that can be right for you. But I'm going to run my channel the way I want to do it. And there's obviously a lot of guys out there that like the way I do things. So that's what I'm going to, you know, target with my style. And yeah, any comment is good. Agreed. But sometimes comments are not productive. Sometimes they are really just trying to tear you down, trying to cause shit. And honestly, those aren't productive. And they're not necessarily good in that sense because they're not doing anything productive. If a comment's just like, you know, saying my videos are too long. Okay, thanks guys. I know my videos are too long. I've tried to shorten my videos. I remember when I first started, I made a video and it was, I forget which knife it was, and it was like 30 minutes long, and I was like, God damn, that's way too long. No one's gonna wanna watch a 30-minute video on a knife. And I redid it. Probably 4 or 5 times I redid the same video. And it came out to 30 minutes almost every fucking time. It's just, it was all the information I wanted to give you guys about that knife happened to be 30 minutes. Some of my videos are 20 minutes, some of my videos are 45 minutes, and it's not all, I'm not like trying to make a 45-minute video, obviously. I don't want to make a 45-minute video. That's 45 minutes of my life that I'm giving to you guys, and a 45-minute video might take me 3 hours to, or more to edit. So why would I want to do that? You know, obviously I don't want to make long videos. It's what I had to say about that knife. So when my videos are long, it's just the nature of what I had to say and what I have to tell you about that knife. So yeah, it's not always for everybody, and I'm okay with that. And I'm okay with negative comments. I'm all about, you know, checks and balances. I mean, that's the life we're living right now, guys, is no one wants to hear the negative. Like, they just want to, you know, they want a participation award and all this bullshit. It's like, dude, I come from a different type of time where, you know, if you can't take negative comments, you're never going to make anything better of yourself. So I'm all about making my channel better, making it, and that's how I even got to Hype versus Reality. When I first started my channel, there wasn't a structure to my reviews. It was just a review of a knife. And Hype versus Reality was my way of somewhat structuring what my videos were. And then I made the distinction between Hype versus Reality and like a first impression, because a first impression is going to be just a quicker video for you guys, just more of like a walk around of the video, talking about, you know, what I like, what I dislike in that first impression. And that's what a lot of reviews are, because I mean, these guys aren't using the knives. I mean, a lot of them will even admit that it's on the factory edge, and it's like, dude, if your knife's on the factory edge, I'm sorry, you haven't used your knife. Sharpening a knife is one of the things that tells you how that knife's been done. If you sharpen, you will know that, because you can tell between a good knife and a bad knife as soon as you sharpen it. You can tell what's been heat treated properly, what hasn't been heat treated properly. Even though there's other things, there's obviously other things that will tell you that. But yeah, I mean, a factory edge, and most of the time, we got to be honest, guys, factory edges are shit most of the time. Some companies do a good job, and even the companies that do a good job, it's still hit or miss. I've had Spydercos that, I mean, this one, okay, guys, so one of my newer acquisitions, one I didn't plan on getting. This one was actually gifted to me. I didn't buy it. I had no intention of getting this knife. This is the Swayback, Spyderco Swayback. It's a sleece design, just like the Spidey Chef. So when I got this knife, it was damn near hair whittling. I bet it was hair whittling. I never tested it, but it was definitely popping, and it was extremely sharp. As soon as I touched it, I'm like, damn, yeah, that's a solid factory edge. And Tai Chung Factory seems to do a pretty good job with factory edges. But I've also gotten Tai Chung Factory Spydercos that weren't very sharp. I've gotten Golden Colorado Spydercos that were extremely sharp, and then I've gotten Golden Colorado knives that were, you know, dull in a sense. I mean, a lot of people would, you know, it might have still shaved hair, but when you become a sharpener and you start to like push the sharpness and try to see how sharp you really can get something, you start to become kind of a, I guess, a little bit of a snob when it comes to sharp edges. Like, I can almost feel with my fingertips how sharp a knife is. So I can tell, like right now, like this one is definitely, if it's not hair whittling, it's close to it. But I just sharpened this knife. And I can usually tell if a knife's gonna cut paper, if it's gonna shave hair. And that comes from a lot of sharpening knives and testing edges and seeing where they stop cutting paper and seeing where, you know, you start to feel with your fingers what it's gonna do essentially as performing wise. Just like with behind the edge thickness, you start to, you know, get an affinity for being able to go, oh, that's gonna be a good slicer, or that's not gonna be a good slicer, or. And again, behind the edge thickness, we can always have the discussion of behind the edge thickness versus stock thickness, which I think all of us that know that behind the edge thickness usually has a way bigger effect on how the knife's gonna cut than stock thickness. Oh, thanks. Yeah, K390 versus M4. Yeah, guys, I really wanted to do more videos. I know that I haven't done much lately. Like I said, it's been rough. It's been hard to get the motivation to make videos, and then I've got a lot of videos just sitting there that are hype versus reality or whatever that I just never edited, and they're just sitting there. And when your life kind of falls apart, it's hard to get that motivation sometimes, you know? So I've been on Instagram. I have still been active, and I know a lot of you guys are, I loved Super Steel failed. I'm not following what you're saying there. Sorry, man. It's been tough to get the motivation to make videos. And I mean, I've wanted to do, you know, I've got a ton of modification projects sitting in the garage that I haven't finished. Shit, I've got scales sitting right here that I haven't finished, that I have to redo one of the sides. This is the A100, my Carta Scales Gene. And I just have to finish it. And, oh yeah, you have to learn how to sharpen, guys. I gotta say, that is, if you don't learn how to sharpen, then you're not gonna be able to use your knives as extensively as you want. And when you do, you're gonna have to send them out to get sharpened, and you're spending so much money. It's not as advantageous. Like, it's so much better to just learn how to sharpen, guys. Even if you just get a fixed angle system, which, guys, I know a lot of guys out there know this already, but a fixed angle system is not going to make you a good sharpen. It's not gonna make you a good sharpener. It helps, but you still have to use the same theories that you use in freehand sharpening. You just have to, it's a little bit more mindless, where you don't have to worry about your angle necessarily. And that's actually why I use a fixed angle sharpener, is because I'll do it while I'm doing other things. I'll do it when I'm like, you know, like I don't have to focus on the angle as much, especially when it comes down to your fine stones. I can freehand sharpen, I do freehand sharpen, but I choose that, especially when I'm sharpening someone else's knives, I'm going to use my fixed angle system, because I want it to be, you know, a perfect bevel, and I don't want to scratch anything. I maybe can't pay attention like I want to, so I'll use the fixed system. But it still takes paying attention to pressure and scratch pattern and you know, there's so much more to it than I think people give it credit. So I think a lot of times people think a fixed angle system just means it's gonna be sharp no matter what, and that's not the case. You still have to create a burr. You still have to really pay attention to your scratch pattern and your like I said, your pressure. Pressure is very important no matter what you're doing in sharpening. So yeah, it's still, I think that sharpening is one of the most important things that you have to learn as a knife enthusiast, because then you can really test your knives, really use your knives, and really be able to fix it if you fuck it up, essentially. And also stropping, guys. I think a lot of people don't strop. they just sharpen and then they use their knife until they have to sharpen it again, and they don't strop in between. And stropping is like, for one, it's going to make your knife last longer. For two, it's going to give you more time because you don't have to sharpen your knife as much. You can almost strop your knife every time you use it, essentially, and your apex would stay crisper longer. So it's just one of those things. I feel like a lot of people kind of discount stropping. I know a few guys commented. I'm going to go back and see what you said. K390 chipped against a paper clip. That's rough. Yeah, I mean, K390 can be tough, but again, you know, it depends on, was it a factory edge? Because a lot of times factory edges are burnt and they will chip a lot easier. I've had knives where they chipped easily on the factory edge, and then I sharpened them a few times and I had no more chipping issues. So a lot of times it's a factory edge and stuff like that. So maybe just sharpen it or remove some steel and see if it continues to happen. Only got 2 knives, 940 in the Para 3. Yeah, I mean, the Para 3, might, it's a shorter blade. It's a little bit more just belly instead of the 940 has flats into a belly. So it might be a little easier to learn on the Para 3. Hey Damon, what's up, buddy? Long time no see. Any suggestions on the best fixed angle? Okay, so as far as fixed angles, and I do have a video talking about fixed angles, at least my KME, which is what I use. And I chose the KME. I did a lot of research as far as like when I wanted to get into sharpening with a fixed angle. I learned freehand first, and then, yeah, you too, buddy. Yeah, I know it's been a long time. I did a lot of research, and I chose KME because of the price versus the quality versus what I wanted. Honestly, I was in between. Like at first I looked at the Lansky. There's the Lansky fixed angle. It's like $40. So if you're really not looking to spend a lot, that Lansky will get you by, but it's not going to be as precise. And you're going to have to pay attention more to your angle because even where this, let me pull up my KME. The section, you see how this KME, I can change my angle here. With the Lansky, you just have these slots. And the bar that your stone rides on can move in that slot. So it's going to move, it's going to adjust. You're going to have to pay more attention to your angle. Those stones aren't going to be as nice. There's a lot of things about it. But the Lansky's cheaper, and you can get a lot of stones. There's people that make, you know, aftermarket stones and stuff. But honestly, I think if you're going to invest in a Lansky, just get freehand stones and learn how to freehand. But if you want to get into a fixed angle system, the Edge Pro, the Apex Edge Pro, I chose not to go with that one because you have to hold the knife. I hear it's a nice system, but you have to hold the knife with one hand on the and then use the other hand to sharpen. But I have carpal tunnel syndrome, so I didn't want to have to hold the knife with one hand, and I liked the idea of having something that clamped the knife, so I didn't have to worry about even this hand holding it and not slipping or moving or something like that. And I know they have magnets now and stuff too, which help. So the Edge Pro could be a good choice for some people. I chose the KME because it does have a clamp, and you can get a really nice, you get a nice low angle. It's well made for the most part. It's made in the United States, which is nice. There are things about this that I don't love. The jaws aren't the best. They bend and stuff. They're not super hard steel. They're kind of soft. And there's certain things that I think they could make better about this. This is too big of a hole for the rod that it sits on, which is easily fixed if you go get yourself a 1/2 inch dowel and make yourself your own table. There's a lot of things you can do to the KME to make it a better system. I like the KME. There's a lot of options as far as stones. They make a really good stone. Just the KME brand. It's almost like a DMT stone. These are more expensive. Sorry. Let me see if I can get this. Their Gold Series stones are really well made, and they last a good long time. And it's just like a DMT stone. So it's a really good system. and it's relatively cheap. I mean, it's about $200, which, you know, you're gonna spend that on freehand stones too. If you really want to get set up properly with DMT, you're gonna do like, you know, 3 stones at like $50 a piece. You're gonna spend $150. And if you do 4 and then strops and stuff. So, I mean, I think it's a reasonable price. And if you do something like the Wicked Edge, you're looking at almost $500, depending on the setup you get. The Wicked Edge is really nice, and it's cool because you can use both hands, and it's a little bit. I do like that because I'm a person who likes to be able to be ambidextrous. I do like to be able to do things with my left hand if I can do it with my right. Just out of necessity, a lot of times I've been an idiot in my life, and I've broken my hand more than once, and I've broken things, so I had to use my left hand, and it forces me to want to be more ambidextrous. So that's kind of why I think I like the Wicked Edge, but it's like it was so much more expensive that I just didn't want to go that deep in at first. So I just picked up a Spartan Heresy folder. I don't have any experience, Damon, with Spartan Heresy, but I know Steve, Super Shield Steve, for those of you guys that don't know him. I think Steve's handled a few Spartans. They seem nice. They seem like really well-made knives in the USA, and everything I hear about it, they do a really good job on their heat treat and stuff. The one thing, I haven't been drawn to Spartan personally because they have god-awful thick grinds from what I've seen. So that's the only reason I haven't like tried one or wanted to try one. It's because they seem like they're super thick behind the edge. It's the only reason I haven't tried or have any experience with them personally. I seldom use the base for the cami. I hold it in my hand while sharpening. Okay, yeah, Timbo, you definitely could do that. I just, again, with my carpal tunnel, I try to at least give the base and then be able to just maybe plant my hand on the back so that I don't have to grip it. Because a lot of times if I'm gripping for a long period of time, I'll start to lose, you know, get numbness in my fingers and stuff like that. So I have to be really cautious and conscious when I'm doing things with my hands. I also am, again, working at a carpenter shop again, so I have to really pay attention to stretching and making sure I'm not getting knots in my back and stuff, because that all affects like my dexterity in my hands and stuff like that. So I really have to pay attention. I got the Wicked Edge. It's cool. Yeah, the Wicked Edge is really nice. And if you guys don't know Alchemy One, Clint, he's an advocate of the Wicked Edge. He has one. He loves it. I think it's a great system. And if you're willing to spend the money, the Wicked Edge is probably the most versatile, and you can get a really nice low edge. It's very, yeah, BJ. All right, BJ is here. BJ is actually the guy who influenced me to do this live. So thank you, BJ. I know all these guys will thank you as well, because it's been a long time since I've been on here. So yeah, so Mike, oh, hey, all right, have a good day, Mike. Have a good night, I should say. And yeah, thanks for coming along for a few minutes, and thanks for joining. It's good to see you. Actually, the two sharpeners I'm considering. Oh, okay. Yeah. Which ones? The Apex and the KME, or the Wicked Edge and the KME? Which one are you talking about, Garrison? Yeah, BJ. Much love, buddy. Thanks for getting me on here. It took somebody to push me a little bit. I've been using the Wicked Edge Pros. Yeah, I mean, I got nothing against the the Wicked Edge seems like such a good system, man. And honestly, I would have gone that route if I maybe had $500 sitting around, or if I had a little more. And oh, the KME and the Wicked Edge. Yeah, if you got the extra cash right now, man, and you're willing to put in some practice, because I feel like the KME, if you're a right-handed person or a left-handed person, the KME is easy because you just hold it with your offhand. But with the Wicked Edge, you are using both hands. So it might take a little bit more practice, might take a little bit more getting used to make your scratch pattern perfect, you know, side to side. Your pressure as well, because again, like I said, pressure is very, very important when it comes to sharpening. So, yeah, I appreciate that, BJ. I appreciate that, man. I hope I can get my get mentally back wrapped around it, back to like making consistent videos. It's been rough, but I'm trying. I'm really trying, and I think I might, when I come back, I think I might change my format just a little bit. Like my hype versus reality, I might try to shorten it just a little bit. Like I might eliminate a few things that are redundant, or like even just the specs, guys. I honestly, I think that specs are kind of retarded to have in a. Sorry if I offend anybody, but I'm not politically correct. I think it's kind of dumb to have specs in a review, because anybody can go look at specs online. I think that the size comparisons are a little more just, they're just going to give you a little bit more information, because you can actually hold it in your hand. You're holding the one at home. You can kind of get an idea, a little bit more of an idea of what's going on, where I feel like specs are just numbers on a page anyways, and then anyone can just go look. The only time I think specs are important on knives where they don't have specs online, which is a lot of times like custom knives and stuff like that, they won't have specs. So I think I might get rid of specs. I think I might try and maybe shorten the hype part, because the hype is the only thing that's not as necessarily important in a lot of those cases. And a lot of times hype is personal. Hype is a lot of times hype is shit that people didn't even know about. You know what I mean? Like I don't even know about the hype on a lot of knives now, because I'm not out there following it as much. I've been focusing on other things, like a lot of us have. And what's up, Gerald? What's up, buddy? I've actually been wanting to call you. I've been wanting to call you the last 2 weeks, dude. Sorry, I probably got a few comments that I missed. Yeah, it's really feel like, specs aren't needed, man. It's just stupid. I think that it's most important to give my impression and what I like and what I dislike, and telling you what I experienced with the knife. And again, a lot of times that's my example. I know, buddy. I know. I need to call you. It's just that wrapping my head around being on the phone sometimes is not easy, but just like wrapping my head around being on here sometimes is not easy. And I have been on Instagram, so I've been active, but it's really more, Instagram's more of a conversation to me sometimes. Like this is cool because I can talk to you guys. But a lot of times a video is just me telling you guys, and then I have to go back and look at comments to talk back and forth. What's up, Adam? Hey, good to see you, buddy. So I like the conversation that happens in Instagram, and I'm also in chat groups with my buddies here, like Gerald and Steve and like Elliot from Sharp Thinking, and all these guys, and BJ, and all these guys that I can talk to and chat with, and it becomes more of a conversation instead of me just talking to a camera. So I have been on Instagram, and I haven't been doing like reviews or anything, but I've just been on there because it's been therapeutic in a sense for me. Been kind of lonely here, but it's all good. I'm not saying I'm lonely or anything, but it's not a cry for help, guys, but I'm all good. It's just, I think that thing, like, I'm just going to go back in with a little bit of a different mindset of just talking to you guys more about my experience and the reality. The hype is going to be a shorter, probably just a quick thing about like, this is what I might have heard, or I don't know, maybe I'll change the hype versus reality a little bit. I do want to get more into mods. I want to do a lot of regrinds. I have tons of ideas. I have tons of things. The carpenter shop that I work at right now, they actually do have a power hammer and a forge and an anvil, and I could technically start forging some shit, but I don't know. I gotta wrap my head around that one too. It's really just time-wise, and again, my motivation. Like being motivated to get up and go and do things sometimes can be difficult, but I've been out hiking, I've been exercising and healthy and eating well and taking care of myself and everything. So that part of my life is all square. And honestly, my mental state is square. But it's just life is just a shit show right now, as you guys will see. I mean, shit. It's just, I mean, it's just, we're talking about, like, I haven't really, throughout my life, I haven't paid attention to politics too much. I haven't been a political person necessarily, even though I am I have very strong will and I have a very strong personality. I chose not to pay attention to politics because I felt like both sides were just as evil. You know what I mean? Yeah, fuck 2020 is right, BJ. Both sides are just as evil. They're all have some kind of agenda. They all have some kind of monetary greed that they're trying to get. You know, and it all comes down to funding and lobbying and all this bullshit that I've realized from the very beginning, man. I mean, also when I was coming into into age of voting, we had a 2000 elections, the year 2000, and we all know what kind of shit show that was. So I kind of had a sense of like, I just don't trust our government, essentially. So I don't trust a lot of the things in our world. So it's been hard to wrap my head around getting into politics. And I always found that, like, the more I paid attention, the more it would make my head hurt because I just couldn't wrap my head around the thought process going on. I'm a very practical person, very pragmatic. So seeing politicians talk to each other it's a joke because they only attack each other, especially nowadays. It's all about fucking slander. And I understood, like, I realized this year that I do need to kind of pay attention because with the shit that's gone down this year, to just get blindsided by some of this stuff is not good. So I realized I do have to pay attention. So I have been paying attention, which has made it even harder for me to mentally get the capacity to talk about some knife. You know what I mean? Because it's like, there's so much more shit that's important right now to talk about. And as a competent and an intellectual individual, I think it's important for me to face that reality and talk about this shit. And I have been a little bit more political on my Instagram, and I have been a little bit more political in my day-to-day life, talking to my friends, whatever it may be, because I feel like someone has to fucking say something. And I'm tired of all these fucking snowflakes that can't goddamn take the truth. I mean, we're getting fact-checked on truth. It just doesn't I don't understand how people can't see what the fuck is going on right in front of their eyes. It's unbelievable that people are so easily manipulated and so easily, like, forget what happened 6 months ago or for what someone said 5 years ago, what someone said 20 years ago. There's so much video and so much information out there. How can you not see through the fucking shit? And it's hard for me to wrap my head around it sometimes. So that's also why it's been hard for me to make videos, especially when I have people commenting on a video. I had a commenter a while back. It was a video, one of my clip videos, and he said something like, when is BLM gonna get on these white suburban boys talking about, talking like they're blah, 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 blah. I'm like, what? White suburban? Do I fucking look white to you, you fucking tool? Like, suburban? Just because I live in a nice house now doesn't mean I grew up like this, dude. Do you know where I'm from? Do you know where... I talk like I'm from LA. Guess what, asshole? I'm from fucking California, from a suburbia of LA. Shithead. Like, this is what I'm talking about with comments, where they just don't know what the fuck they're talking about, and they just comment. And some people are out there just to cause shit. So I understand that, and I can't let these guys get to me, and I have to look back to you guys who are here because you really want to watch what I have to say. You really want to comment and be, whether it's a negative or positive comment, it doesn't matter. As long as it's something that's you know, got some productive value to it. You know what I mean? Like, if it's something to make my videos better, I understand, and I'm all about making my shit better. I'm all about, dude, I'm not a snowflake. You can say whatever the fuck you want to me, but in the end, you also have to be ready for the reaction you get. And that's the part I don't think people realize about freedom. It comes with freedom on both sides, okay? I grew up with racism. I grew up with it. I mean, my dad's half black and half Lebanese. My mom is a white girl from fucking Missouri, okay? So my dad couldn't go in my mom's neighborhood. Like, when I was a little kid, we couldn't go into my mom's neighborhood with my dad. You know, like, he wasn't allowed in the fucking neighborhood. So people want to talk about racism and they think like what we experience now is racist. It's just fucking absurd. And this is where people need to fucking stand up and say something, and it's just absurd. And if you say all lives matter right now, you get fucking hassled. And it's like, what? Do you guys not see the agenda behind that? Do you guys not see what's wrong with that? That's racist. Black lives matter? That statement is fucking racist. All lives matter. I'm tired of fucking bullshit that people can't say what's straight. It's fucking all knives matter. Exactly, BJ. Honestly, I'm all for... Dude, if you want to have the fucking KKK, if you want to have a fucking Confederate flag, rock that shit, bro. I don't care. It just means I'm not going to hang out with you. It's a fucking free country, guys. Do we want to have freedoms without freedom? Like, what the fuck is wrong with people? Freedom is fucking freedom. Freedom of speech means you can say whatever the fuck you want, as long as it's not like, as long as you're not hurting somebody, as long as you're not physically hurting someone, you can say whatever you want. Honestly, in my opinion. It's just, I'm tired of the bullshit. I'm tired of the fucking bullshit. And I'm not gonna deal with it. I'm like, dude, if somebody is telling me to say fucking Jacob Blake, I'm gonna tell them to go fuck themselves, because Jacob Blake is a piece of shit. Why are we making people that are pieces of shit into fucking kings? Like, I don't understand. Martin Luther King was someone who did something for the black community. Jacob Blake has done shit for the black community. What the fuck are we immortalizing this guy for? He's a piece of shit. He raped some fucking girl. Like, dude, the same thing with, I mean, look, I am a advocate of what's right. What's right, and you know, honestly, guys, how many of you in a situation where a guy's reaching for a knife wouldn't have shot them? How many wouldn't have shot that person? If he's saying I have a knife and he reaches for it in his car, how many of you wouldn't fucking shoot him? Even if you're black, even if you're fucking Asian, whatever the fuck you are, dude, let's be real about this situation. Just like George Floyd, okay? George Floyd, when I watched that video, when I watched the George Floyd video, there was no racism involved. Like, I didn't see racist. I saw a cop who had a fucking serious, you know, complex, who killed a guy. I mean, and then we all look at the body cam footage from before, and you see that George Floyd was out of his mind, fucking stoned. So, I mean, I'm just tired of people jumping the gun and making a decision and doing things that are just you're just being manipulated. You've been manipulated already. Sorry, guys. I know I just got on a rant about Black Lives Matter, where that's not what this is about. But this is why what I'm talking about, where I feel like I've been quiet about things that I'm not going to be quiet about anymore, dude. This is bullshit. The whole thing's bullshit. The COVID thing is bullshit, in my opinion. They've already manipulated us into believing what they wanted us to. You guys can all look at what Bill Gates is capable of, man. And what the government is capable of as far as manipulating people. I mean, we can look back in the past. Everyone should read Media Control by Noam Chomsky. It's like 90 pages long, and it's not even that long if you don't get the second edition. But a book like that talks about media manipulation, and that was in the 90s. That was back when it was the Gulf War. I know a lot of you guys lived through 9/11, and we all know that was a shit show as well. Right before right after the 2000 election, which there was shit before that affected the 2000 election. So, I mean, come on, guys, like, we got to be able to see the forest for the trees. I mean, it's blatant. It's blatant that they're lying to us about a lot of things, including COVID. You know what I mean? I don't know how many of you guys have seen Plandemic, but if you go and watch it, I mean, I know that there's stuff that's, that I know a lot of people like think it's a vaccine and all this. It's like these anti-vaxxers and all that shit. Dude, I am just not into putting chemicals in my body if I don't have to. I got chickenpox as a kid. Now they want to give chickenpox vaccinations. What's wrong with chickenpox? Yeah, Trump 2020. Dude, I'm not a political person, but I don't trust the Democrats at this point. I don't trust them at all. I'm sorry. It's just they're evil. I mean, and this is coming from someone who might at one time have considered myself a Democrat, or more liberal, but I've always been an independent thinker. I'm an independent thinker. I don't put myself with either party, but I am a free thinker that can look at what's going on in front of me and see the truth. And there's one thing I'll say is Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, they fucking scare me. They scare me. Well, Joe Biden doesn't scare me. He's like a little puppy dog. He's an idiot is what he is. And he's just a puppet. And Kamala Harris is evil. I don't care what anyone says. That chick, they're lying straight to your face. They've lied already, and they've gotten caught in their lies. This is what I'm talking about. Like, people can't remember what they said a month ago. Kamala Harris specifically was saying, I saw it in video, that she's saying they need to continue to riot, and they need to continue to do what they're doing. And then a month later, they're going to say that we didn't say that. We want the riots need to stop. It's like, you guys, what the fuck? Do you think that we don't remember what you just said? Anyways, again, I'm getting into politics. And this is also where I've thought many times, like, maybe I need to come out here and start talking and telling you guys what's up. Oh, yeah, Kiefer, I know you got in here late. What's up, buddy? Probably got to go to bed. I know it's late on the East Coast. Oh, thanks, guys. Yeah, I'm just speaking the truth, man. I'm tired of staying quiet. I'm tired of, just listening to people just slander people. Even with Trump, I hear a lot of people talk shit about Trump, and, oh, yes, dude, Christopher just said free Kyle. Kiefer, all right, buddy, have a good night, and have a great day off tomorrow, buddy. Good to see you, man. Sorry you couldn't hang out for longer. Kiefer, yes, hydrate. I was holding that beer in my hand for way too long. Right on, Kiefer. Cheers, buddy. So, God, I lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah, Kyle Rittenhouse. How many people can actually watch that video? Oh, you can hang. Oh, sorry, Kiefer. I'm sorry. Sometimes with the comments, I'm I get lost. But yeah, that's great. Glad to have you here, buddy. It's just that anyone that can watch that video with Kyle Rittenhouse and not see that it was self-defense is lying to themselves, lying to whatever. They must be either that or they're just totally brainwashed. Because, dude, the guy hit him in the head with a skateboard. Oh God, Kiefer, you're gonna get, oh man, you're gonna get, people are gonna run you out of here, dude. I think we know you're messing around, but, it's just, and if it is, dude, if you are voting that way, hey man, it's your choice. It's your vote. I can't say anything, but yeah, sorry. I know you're trolling, Kiefer, but I honestly just feel like you watch that video, and even no matter what Kyle Rittenhouse has done in the past, no matter that he's a 17-year-old and shouldn't have had a gun in that, like honestly, like come on, let's be real. If when I was 17, I would not have been caught with a gun in the city like that. There's just no way. I also grew up in California, in California, so I would have never been caught with a gun like that in the city, especially at 17. But I wouldn't be caught right now with an AR in the city. But it's just the fact is if you look at the facts, we can charge him with maybe manslaughter, maybe, but it was really just self-defense. It really should be just self-defense and a minor in possession of a firearm. That's really what it is about. It's a minor in possession. It should have been a misdemeanor. And he shouldn't have been there. He shouldn't have been, yeah, what idiot chases a dude with a rifle? That was retarded. I don't know what they were thinking. You're going to hit a guy with a rifle? You're going to hit him with a skateboard? Like, this was not the brightest crew, obviously. They're rioting. I mean, come on. Okay. If you guys have not seen this video, I want you to go watch. It's on ISE. There's a video about Kyle Rittenhouse. It just came out, like, I don't think it's on a lot of social media because they're just going to take it down as fact checkers. But you got to go watch this video. There's a video with Kyle Rittenhouse, and they kind of wrap it all up. It's a really good, informative video where they kind of just show what happens. It is a little bit like they are saying a little bit about, like pushing it a certain way, like kind of trying to say he's innocent, but at the same time, it's really more factual. And dude, I give him credit too, Timbo. I gotta say, he showed a lot of restraint in that situation, man. But if you guys go watch that video, you'll see a lot of the things that happened before and the things that led up to what happened. And you'll see like the guy, I forget his name, something with an R, you guys will probably tell me. The guy who got shot at first, who threw the Molotov cocktail at him. Yeah, you just saw my message, BJ. I wanted to let you know. That guy, I'm forgetting his name. It's on the tip of my tongue, but he was seen earlier. He was the one lighting the fires in the trash can that eventually got, that's why I think they ended up in the same place. Kyle Rittenhouse had a fire extinguisher. Rosenbaum, thank you. He had the fire extinguisher and he was trying to put out fires. So he was trying to do his part, and then they were chasing him. So Rosenberg was chasing him. And I don't know if you guys watch this video, you'll see. Rosenberg earlier, someone put out a fire, and he was calling him a nucka. Like, it says nucka, like 4 times. And I'm like, that is slang for nigger. And you are saying nucka. You are not allowed to say nucka. Like, in a sense, if you want to talk about, like, Black Lives Matter. If you want to talk about it like this, about this, like, robot world that they want to live in. He said nucka, like 4 times. And there was no one black in that whole area. Like, this is just a bunch of white dude criminals that are out there causing shit and just giving it a reason under Black Lives Matter. This is not activist. This is criminals. People are idiots, man. I just can't believe that people can't see what the fuck's going on right in front of their eyes. It's unbelievable to me. And it's just because the manipulation. It's media manipulation. And they are very good at what they do. They are very good at what they do. They even get me sometimes. I'll find myself going, "Oh, son of a bitch," and then I'm like, "Wait a second. Let's research this. Let's keep an open mind." Yeah, Kyle took the trash out. It was trash, dude. The people he shot were all trash. I mean, it was obvious. Like, it was obvious. Yeah, I have a hard time too, Kiefer. The news is pretty bad, and I've been watching the news. I like to watch both sides because I want to be able to make my own assessment of what they're saying and what's going on. And I don't agree with both sides 100%, but I gotta say, I'm definitely leaning towards the Republican at this point, because it's just like, I mean, not even leaning, I'm full on like Trump 2020, but that's also because there's not other options. I'm tired of this world of two options. You are either this or this. Fuck that. I am not either of these things. Why do we have to have parties? Why? Why can't it just be two people that believe this and this guy believes this? And if you want to give it a designation, that's fine. But why do I have to force a designation? Like, why do I have to be a Republican or a Democrat? I can be independent, of course, but then they say you're not doing anything good because you're independent. And the people that tell you that your vote doesn't matter if you vote for the third party or the fourth party, that's the reason your vote doesn't matter, is because they keep telling people that, and then no one votes for them. If everybody just voted for who they believed in, there wouldn't be just two parties. There's no way. There's way too many people in this country with way too many different ideologies and stuff like that to have it mean only two mentalities. This is bullshit. I'm tired of being forced into one mentality or the other. And that's where that's why the political parties never made sense to me. I was like, why do we only have two parties? Why can't I go run for president? Because I'm not rich. What's wrong with that, people? Because I would have to lobby and get money from different people, and then I owe something to those people. Do we not see the corruption in our government? Are we that stupid? Have we been that lost to believe that we all really are just Democrats or Republicans? That we can't have our own ideologies or have another party that is actually in the running, that can be part of the debates? You know what I mean? Like, what's going on? Like, I'm just tired of being manipulated. Just like with vaccines. Like, it's just like, take the vaccine. No, fuck you. Fuck your vaccine. How about I'll eat good food and exercise? Yeah, Kenny, 24. No, dude, honestly, like, I would run. Fuck it. I would run, but I'm not rich, and I'm not someone who can conform because someone gave me money. I have been saying this since I was probably 16 years old. I don't even know when I started saying this, but until money isn't involved in running for government, it's going to be corrupt. Until you don't have to get lobbying to go run, until it's more of like a government-funded issue, and I know government-funded, okay, more power to the government. No, it needs to be something where, okay, you run for your local, okay, you win that. You move on to the next thing. Then they go, okay, you won this. You're to this point. Here's your funding. That's it. People get this much funding, and you got to go and create your own thing. And it's not even about the rich guy. It would just be, and you wouldn't be able to use your own richness to use that towards, like going for political party. There's just way too much corruption involved in it, and too much greed. It's just too much greed, 100%. And I know this turned into a political thing, and I know this is a knife channel, so I kind of lost my way in this live. But I kind of knew it was going to go there because this is where my mind has been at. This is why it's so hard for me to make videos about knives. And I'm going to talk about a few of my recent acquisitions. You guys will know this if you've seen me on my Instagram, but this is my first custom knife. And if you guys have been watching my channel for a while, my first custom knife. And this is from Bgm Knives, Switzerland. And this is on Teflon washers, and it is in S390 steel. I don't know if you're gonna pick that up. It's not gonna focus, but this thing has been really amazing. Love this thing. If you guys don't know who Roman is, go check out Bgm Knives, Switzerland. Case Knives, Switzerland is it. Carried a rainbow mermaid today. Oh, dude, rocking the mermaid. Oh, that's just gold, bro. I miss you guys too, Knife Whisperer. What's up, buddy? It's been, like I said, I still have been chatting with the community, just not on YouTube, which isn't fair to you guys either. Yeah, it's all BS, man. It's just, I'm just tired of manipulation and the world we live in where it's all about manipulation. Okay, another recent acquisition that I wanted to show you guys. This is from Bgm Knives. If you guys don't know John, he's been doing some really good stuff. Really young guy who is doing really great stuff. Made some nice, super thin grinds. He does a good job with his heat treat. And the reason I knew that is because I had to sharpen some of his knives. So I sharpened, for a friend from Instagram, I sharpened a few knives for him, and they were from John at Bgm Knives, and they sharpened up really nice, and they seem to be done very well. So I ended up picking one up, and I haven't bought much with knives. Actually, I've been focusing on something else, which you guys probably know what that was. But it's just been, yeah, that's right. I'm gonna clear it. But it's just been really hard to focus on knives lately. And I should be out here at least talking to you guys, whether it be about this or not, because I know a lot of you guys have a lot to say about what I'm talking about too, about politics, about, about the situation we're in with COVID and all that shit. Yeah, me too, buddy. I hadn't heard it in a while. My soon-to-be ex-wife, for those of you guys that have been in this live since the beginning, you'll know what I was talking about. But it was, she hated guns, like hated them with a passion. Like I had one too when we first met, and she knew I liked guns. Like I like guns, I like shooting. I'm not like a murderer, as you guys well know. I'm not a criminal. I'm someone who is a citizen. You want to have guns. And guess what? The laws make it hard for me to get guns, not for criminals. And I know you guys will back me with that one. Full review from Roman's Knife. Yeah, I will have a full review. And I will have a full review on my shard, because that's another one I haven't talked about with you guys too much. I know I think I had a quick video talking about the shard. To use, definitely on the higher end. If you're looking for more of a cheap user, John is younger, definitely still does a great job, but it's not quite as refined as what Roman's got going on as far as heat treat and stuff like that, and wet grinding and all the things that Roman does to an extreme. But yeah, great stuff. John is also an American maker, which is nice to support American. But Roman's not, he's doing it in Switzerland, which is all good. I'm down on supporting anyone that does a good job and does, goes above and beyond. That's what I'm about, man. Just attention to detail. I got some American-made product right here. This is my Lynx Defense EDC backpack. I've been loving this thing. It also has a little secret pocket on the back here if you do carry, which I can't really. I'm in California here, and to get a concealed weapons permit is kind of tricky, and a lot of things like that. I have been focusing on American-made products, as you guys well know, in my last few posts. I got this wallet, which is actually, I've been loving this thing. This is Travax, and Travax makes some great products. I've been loving this wallet. It's really nice. It's got easy access. Hey, what's up, Eric? Welcome, buddy. Easy. You got a little bit of cash here. If you're not a big cash person, this is great. You've got your ID and other pocket here, so you can get into that. And then if you need to get in the back, it's real easy. So really been liking this. And then I've also got my Surefire. I've been supporting them a lot. They've made, one of the only like US made flashlights around. Really, Surefire is great. And I got my other lights where you guys know what I'm talking about. I got my other lights from Surefire as well. But yeah, Traybacks is the shit. Traybacks is really nice. They make good stuff, American made. Really a pretty young guy who started this company, and really well made stuff. So I've been continuing with my American made, and I do my best to get American made. If I can't go American, I'm definitely not going China. Fuck China. And got this badass belt. I've been loving these belts. This is Grip 6. It's like a really cool belt that is easy to undo. It's almost sturdy enough to be a gun belt, but it's not quite as rigid as it needs to be. And then again, I've got some American made shorts right here. They are from, oh God, I'm gonna have a brain fart right now. Tad, yeah, Triple Aught Design. And Clint over at Alchemy One turned me on to them. Yeah, just great stuff. Really good American made products. Kind of expensive, but they have deals every now and then. I mean, not kind of expensive, expensive. But you get what you pay for, and you're gonna have a pair of jeans or shorts that last you years. So, and they stand behind their products. So it's definitely, I definitely want to make a video about all this stuff. It's all good stuff, and I'm really happy with the products I've gotten recently. Spawns will get punished for the actions of the wicked. 100%, dude. I'm tired of the good people getting you know, it's just been the story of my life. Is shit, they just make it bad for everybody, dude. The shitty people ruin it for everybody. It's just the way it goes. I watched Salty Christopher. I don't know what that is. Oh, love your Grip 6. Yeah, dude, Grip 6 makes really good belts, Kiefer. Glad to hear you got one. They're good stuff, man. I've got 2 of them now. I loved my first one, so this was my first, and then I got another one. It's kind of got a wood grain. It's really cool. Let me see what it says. Got to watch out for those American made. They only put, yeah, no, there's definitely stuff that says American made, and then you know, it's just American made on the box. Or there's also stuff where it'll say like American designed. They'll have like an American flag on it, and you think like American made, and it's just designed in America, but then they send it off to China. And that's just irresponsible in my opinion. I just plain out right irresponsible. And I know that a lot of these companies, you know, they try to keep up with the times and try to, you know, they outsource their stuff because they want to make a cheaper product. Why don't you just make it better? And people won't have to. Like, I'll pay more for a better product. If we make it better, that's, I don't know if you guys are my age or older, but if you remember when we were kids, it was like American made and stood for something, man. It stood for something. It was, you knew you were getting a better product. Now it's like, it's hit or miss. It can be hit or miss, you know? American made can mean that you get a better product, and it can also mean that it's just the same product. And it also comes down to China made things better because they knew they had to compete. But it's irresponsible for American companies to send their stuff to China. It really is. And I'm over, for a long time there, I was, you guys know this, I even said, like, I would support American companies that were just having it made in China. Like, I bought that Ferrum Forge Mordax, or not Mordax, you know, the one we knife, the Fortis and stuff like that. And I was, like, making it okay in my head by saying, oh, it's an American company I'm supporting. But I'm still supporting China. Like, I'm tired of American companies just saying, oh, well, it's the only option because no one will make it in America, and then I'll just send it. Well, guess what? What did Hinderer do? What did Rick Hinderer do? He didn't decide like, oh, I want to make a fucking cheaper knife, so I'm going to go to China. No, he said, no, I'm going to make it here, and I'm going to make it well, and I'm going to try and make all the screws myself and make everything myself. And, dude, they say it's undoable or they can't do it, or bullshit. Chris Reeve, he came from freaking South Africa and did what he had to do. I mean, that was at a different time, too, where things were, not as regulated, which I know a lot of you guys out there are gonna have something to say about that, but it's like, tired of the bullshit, dude. And another thing, like, you hear all this stuff about Emerson and how bad they make their knives. Like, come on, man. You want to, and like, I hear things like Emerson isn't, it's not worth the money. And I do understand that, like, some people, it's all about perception. It's all about the way people perceive things. Because when you look at a lot of Spydercos, they may have better scales. They may have a cleaner, like, lines, and like where the scales meet the G10. It might be a little tighter as far as fit and finish, what we want to call fit and finish. But to be perfectly honest, like, what are you not seeing as far as value? These have titanium liners. It's not steel. Right there, I mean, that makes it worth at least what the Spydercos are. And as far as, like, build quality, it's still made, to me, it's like, it's just as made just as well as Spydercos. And if you want to talk about bad Emersons, dude, I've gotten some bad Spydercos. I've gotten some bad, pretty much everything. Like, if we want to talk about quality control, it's going to be a slippery slope, because I've gotten a bad Emerson. I have. I had one that, you know, my mini A100 is off center, and it's got a little bit of lock slip where, like, it will fail because it locks up really early. But do I want to start talking about the Spydercos I've gotten, the Benchmades I've gotten? Oh my God, you want to talk about value? At least Benchmade has a really good warranty, but dude, I've gotten horrible Benchmades, horrible, like horrendous. So I don't know, man. I'm just tired of everyone just bashing a company just because it's a company that likes to get bashed. I mean, I'm just not into the brainwash bashing. And I haven't seen what these guys are talking about with bad Emersons. I've been slowly switching out to all American made. That's awesome, Key. For me too, man. I've been selling stuff, buying, you know, getting new stuff in American made. I've been doing the same thing. I've been trying to. Yeah, anywhere but China, Timbo. I'm the same way, man. I'm not. I mean, I try to do American made, but it's not always possible. It's not always exactly what it can be, but especially, and that's what it should be. I mean, we should be making everything here. I gotta say, Emerson A100 versus Spyderco Gail Bradley. Very different knives, dude. I wouldn't lean either way. I mean, the Gail Bradley too. I never had one, but I really like them. I've honestly always wanted one, essentially, a little bit, but they're different knives, man. I wouldn't even compare those two, because the A100 is more of a hard use. It's got a symmetrical grind, but it's got a chisel secondary bevel. So, and it's a much thicker, like, behind the edge. It's got a thicker tip. It's more of a like a everything use knife, whereas the Gail Bradley's got a hollow grind. It's going to be better for probably slicing and doing stuff like that. It's also M4, so you're going to get a little bit better, you're going to get better performance out of M4 than you'll get out of the 154 CM that Emerson uses. But the Gail Bradley, you're going to have to keep in mind that M4 is not as, it's not as corrosion resistant, so you're going to end up having to take care of that blade better. You wouldn't want to necessarily use it for certain things if you're going to get, like, juice all stuck in the pivot. And I mean, it's just little things like, the A100's a little bit more like a work knife, whereas the GB2 is more like almost like a gentleman's carry, but it could also be a work knife. M4 is great stuff. I like M4 steel. And Spyderco does a good job with M4, although I think, Gail Bradley's made in Taichung, right? Almost positive. Not remembering off the top of my head, but I think it's Taichung factory. And the M4 from the Taichung is not quite as good as I think the Colorado factory, from the experience I've seen. But, like, I think even Steve tested those two against each other. But it's just, I think that the Gail Bradley is a great knife for slicing, and the A100 is going to be a better all around, like, whatever you're going to do knife. So that's where I would say. So depending on your use and what you want it for, that would be what I'd say. I don't like to give definitive answers if it's not a definitive type of thing, but let me see. Let me catch up. Sorry, guys. Emerson did make some pretty bad knives back when. Yeah, and I can't attest to the past. I know that, like Hinder couldn't make a flipping knife. Like a lot of things where people are like, dude, but that's not the reality of now. So I can't attest to anything that I don't know about personally. So that's why I say what I say. And the past is the past, I mean, shit, I'm sure all these other companies made shitty knives at one time too, it's just the way it is. I mean, there were Spydercos I handled where I was like, dude, this is bad. And the Emerson thing, I got to handle one that was made in 2002, and the thing was so nice, super smooth, even smoother than the ones I have now. Super perfectly centered, well done. I like the fact that it didn't have the super grippy G10. It was more smoother. So I can't say that. I can't say their old stuff was bad. Did you know Emerson uses 2 different types of titanium in their liners? Grade 5 lock stick and grade 1 show side. I did not know that, BJ. But it makes sense. And honestly, I like the lock stick in Emerson's because it's a liner lock. A lot of guys will bitch about lock stick. If you're got a working knife, a lock stick can be just a little bit of that, just that safety aspect of like my knife's not going to fail on me because there's a little bit of stick. The stick is not bad. And most of the sticks I've had on Emerson's, it's not like a lock stick where you're like, grabbing another knife to undo the lock. Like it's more like just a pop. Like you get a little bit of pop. Like even this one, this is a, for those of you guys that don't know what this is a Roadhouse. And there is a little bit of lock stick, but it's only when I flip it really hard. You can hear it, but it's mostly audible. It's not like, it doesn't hurt my finger to undo. I mean, you guys can see how smooth that is. Unbelievably smooth. And people talk about Nylotron like it's shit. People talk about Teflon like it's shit. Teflon, I love Teflon. Teflon's smooth. Teflon, it's got a cloudy feel. People want to talk about smooth with bearings. Bearings aren't smooth. Bearings are free dropping and they're free floating type of action, but they're not smooth. They have a roll to them. You feel the roll when you're using bearing knives. On most bearing knives, you can feel the roll of the bearings. That's not smooth. If anything, phosphor bronze washers and Teflon washers and Nylotron washers are extremely smooth. But I think people lose that. Like they're not using their vocabulary correctly, I think. It's just more of like it's more of a free kind of flow, but it's not smooth as Teflon or something like that. Even if they're not free dropping, Teflon's much smoother. Trying to go back and see what you guys said here. Sorry, I'm like way behind. Screws you can work with. Oh, okay. Yeah, anywhere but China. Yeah, it's just the way, it's definitely where I'm going with my purchasing as far as, I mean, I should have been that way for a long time. I did think about it for a long time, but I always thought there was nothing I could do. Everything's going China, and that's bullshit. It's a cop-out. It's the reason it got to where it's at is because everyone thought they can't do anything about it. Yeah, you can. It's called purchase things that aren't made in China. Use your purchasing power as a American, as a free American. Have 4 Emersons with no issues. Yeah, I have probably 6 Emersons. I kind of went a little crazy with Emerson this last year, and I probably have. I had 5. I can't remember, but it's like I'd have to think about it, and I'm too far behind right now. But they're all solid. There's little things here and there that I can bitch about, but that's like that with every brand I have. I can bitch about stuff. It's just the way it is. It's when we're talking about production, you're gonna have some lemons. It's just the fact. Just saying I can take it. But that's where it comes down to quality control, and I think a lot of companies should do better jobs with quality control. knives in a month. Yeah, Contago. Another, like, Benchmade, man. Benchmade, I know a lot of guys are Benchmade advocates, but, man, I just don't think they do a very good job with their knives, to be honest. Yeah, Pakistan, Damascus. No, thank you. GB2, Timbo, I've wanted a GB2 for a long time, man. I wanted to try it. And then I found myself not getting it because I had too much M4. Like, I was like, I got like 4 M4 knives. Like, I want something else. You know me, I'm kind of a steel nerd, a little bit. 13,000, yeah. Eric just said the GB2 is 13,000 behind the edge, and that's what I'm talking about, yeah. Speaking of Tai Chung and thin behind the edge, guys, holy shit. You want to see thin behind the edge. This fucking Swayback. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this thing to focus. Oh man, you're not going to be able to see it. It is so goddamn thin. I did mic it, and it came, I think it was 11 thousandths behind the edge, but it's like 11 thousandths. Like, probably up here, it's probably like 13 thousandths. I mean, it's so damn thin. The tip is, you ain't prying with this thing, man. You wouldn't even want to pry open a milk carton with this thing. It's pretty thin, but I mean, I'm exaggerating, but yeah, super nice thin grind. I love it. Yeah, it's Tai Chung, Timbo. Yeah, thanks for. I thought it was Tai Chung. Every company. Yeah, 100% dark. That's what I'm saying. Like, you want to talk about lemons, man. I've got $500 knives that have lock slip. You know, it's you want to really talk about that shit. I got stick on, yeah, on the pair of 3. I have probably 2 or 3 pair of 3s that have lock stick, compression lock stick. So everyone wants to talk shit about every other company. I found out. Oh, interesting, dude. So BJ says he, like trying to anodize his titanium. He realized they were different titaniums. That's interesting. I haven't come across that, but that's obviously because I haven't tried to anodize, like the scales of an Emerson. Oh, Penny, yeah. Hey, thanks a lot for coming along, and I'll have to do more of these lives. This is really fun. I'm glad I got to do this with you guys, and getting to talk to you is where it's at, and getting to see your responses, and I'm into this. Carry knives from Teflon. Fire tack is fire. I love the fire tack. I don't know why more people don't know about the fire tack. I don't know why Hinderer, that's not their flagship model, like Clint always says. Alchemy 1 has turned me on to the fire tack, and it is one of the best knives out there. As far as I'm concerned, I love my fire tack. I have 2 of them because of it. Yeah, dude, Teflon is the shit. I love Teflon. It's the best. For me, I like phosphor bronze as well. Phosphor bronze washers are great stuff. I love, CRK. Anyone with good tolerances, phosphor bronze washers is going to be sick. And same thing goes with Teflon. Same thing goes with Nylotron. It's all about your tolerances and I shouldn't even say the tolerances. It's about the way that it's pretty much you accomplishing the tolerances that you set, essentially. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it's all about, is how are they manufacturing it and how are their tolerances being met? Like, when you look at Chris Reeve, the way he makes his knives, or at least the way he designed, the way he set up his shop to make his knives, he wanted the tightest tolerances, He doesn't allow for less, and that's why his knives are able to take apart. He goes, take them apart. Your knife comes with the tools to take it apart. I'm tired of these brands that just won't let you take their knife apart. That just shows that their tolerances are shit. Because if their tolerances weren't shit, you could take their knife apart and put it back together and it wouldn't affect it. I know that there's a lot of idiots out there. And it's very easy to get around the idiots. to be honest. Like knife companies will say, well, people take their knife apart and they strip the screws and they blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, bullshit. Put a clause in your fucking warranty that says, if you take your knife apart and you ruin it because you're an idiot, your warranty is void. Done. Like, I don't understand that this whole thing about like, well, people ruin their knives by taking it apart. So put a clause in the warranty, assholes. Like, you don't need to make it so people can't take their knife apart and you void the warranty. That's not the right approach. The approach would be to say, well, if you fuck your knife up taking it apart, you're gonna have to pay for the parts, essentially. Done. That's it. It's that simple. But I don't understand why knife companies will be so adamant about, no, you cannot disassemble. I've even had discussions with Roman from K-Knives Switzerland, and it's like, well, knives, it's very careful to put them. Well, guess what? Like if your knife has perfect tolerances, you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about that if your knife has good tolerances. You should be able to take it apart, put it back together, just like tools you buy. You're able to take it apart and clean it and put it back together. I'm tired of this fucking disposable world we live in too, where you can't fucking fix shit. Your dryer breaks, you throw it in the garbage and buy a new dryer. Your TV breaks, you buy a new TV. When I was a kid, they had TV repair shops and appliance repair shops. Everything's disposable in our world. It's also why we deal with the shit we deal with. And this is also where, like, I don't necessarily connect with Republicans. Again, it's like this whole thing that, like, global warming isn't happening. Well, okay, maybe global warming isn't happening at the way that the Democrats are explaining global warming. But to believe that we are not affecting this planet is kind of absurd. Anyone who has somewhat of a scientific mind is going to know that the stupid shit that we do to our planet is not smart. Like, come on. I mean, I'm not agreeing with the Democratic Party and saying it's global warming like they say it is. And I know that there's manipulation and agenda behind the global warming that they're saying. But to say that we're not affecting the world with all our plastics and all the bullshit that we do and our wastefulness is just ignorant. That's just ignorant to say that we're not affecting the world, that we're just a glimpse. Like, okay, we're definitely affecting what's going on. We've made species go extinct. Like, come on, guys. We definitely have affected our world, and we've definitely done stupid shit. And one of those things is our wastefulness and our laziness. People can't get a bottle that they have to wash. They need to get plastic bottles. Well, guess what? I just read an article about how plastic is being fed to us in those, like, when everyone drinks plastic water out of a plastic bottle, everyone's buying plastic water bottles with water. You don't think some of the particles of water are in that water? I mean, you don't think some of that's getting transferred into your body? Yeah, I don't know. Again, I'm just on another tangent, but yeah, I'm more into the fact of, like, let's make it right the first time. Let's do the extra work. Let's do what we have to do what's right. Yeah, most tap water isn't safe, but you can always go get a filter and filter the water and then add your own minerals if that's the case. That's what I do. I have a big Brita filter in my fridge. I fill it at the sink, and then I add minerals. I add some like mineral salt to it, like there's a lot of options. You don't have to use plastic water bottles. And in fact, like, if you're gonna do that, buy the big jugs of plastic water bottle and then use you know how many of these bottles everyone has? Like, $64 ounces. This thing comes to work with me all day. I got 64 ounces of water. I don't need plastic water bottles. Done. It's just a cop-out. I think it's wasteful and it's lazy. Oh, sorry, guys. I know I'm probably calling some people out, but I'm just tired of it. I'm just tired of people making excuses. Sorry, I'm catching up here. Do I like karambit knives? Not a big fan. Not a big fan. If I was in a, martial arts and I was like protecting myself, I might use a karambit. But as far as like using it for day-to-day stuff, I'm also a sharpener. Like everyone who sharpens hates recurves, and a karambit's just a giant recurve. So I'm not really into karambits, but I mean, I get their use, I get what they're good for, and I've just never been into it personally. But let me see. I do have one. It's just a cheap guy though. Playing carbidized. See what, carbidized. I've never carbidized titanium, but cool, man. That's awesome. I want to see how that comes out. Let me know. Let me know on one of my other videos or something. Waiting for the new tri-way fire tack. Dude, why, Kiefer? Get the Teflon one. I hope you're messing with me right now, Kiefer. Because why do you need the tri-way? I hope they don't make a tri-way fire tack. I love the Teflon washers. And honestly, when I handled fire attack, which is just Teflon, it had better action than the tri-way pivots when I put the Teflon in the tri-way pivot. Because you have to know that making a tri-way pivot, I never understood the tri-way pivot because it's like a lot of these companies can't even nail one type of washer. And you're gonna nail 3 types of washers in one knife? No, not gonna happen. And it never does happen properly. I've never seen a tri-way pivot system that was perfect, that didn't have issues. Not issues, like I shouldn't say that because, but this one is absolutely, with any of the washers, it's spectacular. But that's a limit. That's the only one out of all my Gen 6 hinderers that's perfect. Well, yeah, Timbo, I agree. If they use better hardware, they wouldn't strip screws. But some people are idiots, man. I gotta say, some people just they couldn't take the top off of a bottle of water, dude. Some people just don't know how to do things. They're just not very coordinated. They don't push hard enough when they're unscrewing. There's a lot of reasons people can strip stuff. It's just some people just aren't paying attention to what they're doing a lot of times that's what it is. They're not paying attention. Yeah, no, Benchmade makes good knives. Like, dude, the 940 is a great all-around knife. I like Benchmade knives. I like some Benchmade knives. I like the bug out, but I just don't love them as a company. It's why I don't want to support them anymore. Like, I'm not, and honestly, like, I think I have 3 Benchmades left. I have this back here because I need to sharpen it. I have this bug out, which I have some Flightanium G10 scales on. I have a Freak, of course, the Super Freak I have that you guys know. I've seen my review if you've been watching my channel for a while. I have the Super Freak, and I have that Griptilian that I did my Carter scales on. I got those micarta scales for. So those are the 3 Benchmades I have, and that's all I ever need. I have no interest in Benchmade at this point after that whole situation, just everything I've experienced with them. Let's see. Beer is filtered. Yeah, there you go, Kiefer. Just drink beer. Let's see. Dude, I might be all over the place. I'm sorry if I do. T8 or bigger. Yeah, T8's where it's at for sure. I'm just having a bigger Torx bit. What knife makes you the happiest? Oh, that's actually a great question. So Mark's got a question. He said, what knife makes me the happiest? Damn, that's a really heavy question, Mark. That's tough. There's been a few definitely that have been my kind of like, especially now that I haven't been buying as much. I'm not like buying a new knife every other week or something, For a while there, it was pretty heavy. But now I think I definitely have my top 5 that I love, that I use, that I get the most joy out of using. One of them has been this guy lately, this Unamzan. CRK in general. I have like 4 CRKs, and they are my favorites. Like, I'm a huge fan of CRK. I just love the way they're made. I love their simplicity. The heat treat's done very well. The tolerances are excellent. Best I've probably experienced as far as any knife. Production level, as far as I'm concerned, this is the pinnacle of production knives. 100%. 100%, I will say that. The pinnacle of production. And probably the point of diminishing returns in some sense. After this, I feel like knives don't get a lot better, even custom, as well, as far as I'm concerned, as what I've experienced. Like this is on the level of a CRK for sure. But I think where this excels is like heat treat on the blade. When I'm talking about tolerances and fit and finish, I still think CRK is right there, if not better than the Shirogorov's great. I think Shirogorov makes a good knife, but it's loose. Like, I don't think people realize, like, bearing knives to me feel loose sometimes. They feel, it's too sloppy. Like, sometimes it's kind of sloppy. My Shirogorov has tons of play in the lock. Like, what's up, Elliot? Elliot, welcome to the room, bro. From the day I got my Shirogorov, you could flip it and then squeeze it, and the lock would travel from like 25% to like 60%. There's so much slop in that knife, even though it's got great action. Oh, it's beautiful. It's a great knife, dude. But and the heat treat's done well. It's a great knife, but it's just that they just don't. It could be much better. It could be much better. And there's things about it where I just don't understand. I don't see why they do it like that. And also, I've heard some rumors. I don't know if they're true. I've heard that Shirogorov makes them in China. I hope it's fake. I hope it's not true. I've heard a lot of things about those Russian knives are actually made in China. You think they're Russian, but I heard they're made in China. So I hope it's not. I hope it's not true. The LMAX on mine is done extremely well, though. It's very well done, LMAX. So I'm happy with that. Let's see. But as far as Mark, my favorite, I still can't put a finger on like the one that brings me the most joy, but it's probably one of my CRKs because I love my Sabenza, I love my Nkosi, I love the Umnumzon's been stealing my heart lately, but honestly, and this Umnumzon is like, I think it was 11 thousandths behind the edge. So definitely the thinnest CRK I have, and it keeps it like all the way like here on the blade. Like I think it was a 1/4 inch up. It was still at like 14 thousandths or something like that. So stupid thin, like all the way up the blade. I'm extremely happy with that. Sorry if I'm shaking the camera when I do this, but I gotta like read these. Oh, sorry, I missed one. I'm trying to catch up. Bought my first SNGO a little while ago. Lock stick, detent lash. Pivot comes out during use. Came dull. If I had to bought directly from Strider, I'd swear it was fake. Wow. Yeah, Strider's infamous. The Strider I had was, it was okay. I wasn't like super impressed with it. I wasn't it wasn't like horrible. Honestly, with Strider, my problem with Strider is the ergonomics. They just do not fit my hand. I don't know how they fit anybody's hands, honestly, but they don't fit my hands. The way that it wedges to the back, the human hand gets smaller at the back, not bigger. It seems stupid to me. It's just not pragmatic to me. I don't understand how people like Striders, but I understand that people choke up, and when you choke up, it's not as thick at the back. So if you like to choke up on your knife, personally, I would rather have a knife like this. There's one place to grip it. You utilize the most of the blade. I don't love the idea of a choil, finger choil. I like a knife where it's one spot to hold. All right, buddy. Yeah, I'll see you when you come back. Personally, I don't mind choil knives. Obviously, like the Para 3 was one of my favorites, and I don't mind a choil when it's done right and it's done well. I like to choke up sometimes, but yeah, I don't find it necessary. I don't know why everybody has to have a choil. Like they force choils on knives that just don't need a choil. I just don't understand it. At least a finger choil. Even sharpening choils, Sharpening choils are essential on some knives, but like on something like a Spyderco Para 3, the way that they do it right up against the plunge, I kind of like that. You never get caught up on stuff. I do like that. So you guys can go watch my On My Mind about that. But yeah, I've definitely had my moments with finger choils. Like, why did you do a finger choil? I don't understand it sometimes, but it's just me. I'm kind of weird. I'm definitely weird. Let me see. Let me catch up. The pivot. Yeah, the pivot spins. Yeah, Mark. I don't know why they don't make a D. I don't know why anyone would make a pivot that is free spinning. Like, why don't you just make it a D pivot so that it locks? I don't understand that, but it's okay. I mean, as long as they, and with the Shiros, they don't even have a head where like where you can put the torques on the other side. So you're forced to like try and like hold the blade and try and, well, what happens if they put too much Loctite on there or something? It makes it really hard. It also comes back to Shiro does not let you disassemble their knives. So technically you'd probably have a void warranty when you went to try and talk to them about it, but it's stupid. They should have a D pivot 100%, especially when you're spending $600 on a knife. It doesn't have a D pivot. Although you could say like CRK doesn't have, but at least they have a head, a key head, so you can use an Allen key. Yeah, I'm glad you can make it too, Elliot. Welcome, buddy. I know a lot of, Elliot's one of the guys we're always chatting, but I don't see much of those guys right now. But Benchmade, CT, Microtech, all would have done the same thing for the cops. Yeah, the whole thing with the Benchmade cop, guys, I don't think people understand the whole Benchmade cutting the guns up. Those are guns that were gonna be destroyed no matter what. If Benchmade didn't destroy it, someone else would have destroyed it. They just were helping. Like, come on, guys. Like, I'm not even talking about the Benchmade with the gun thing. I don't even give a shit about that because, I mean, I'm sure that Benchmade still supports the 2A. It's just because they destroyed some guns that were, like, gonna be destroyed no matter what, it doesn't mean that they're against the 2A or something. I mean, I'm not gonna get into the gun thing because I don't think it had anything to do with the fact that they don't like guns. I'm sure that the guys at Benchmade like guns. I'm tired of soft M390. Me too. I'm tired of soft M390. I would much rather have 154 CM or something like that. Like, why does everything have to be M390? And if it's gonna be M390, you better do your due diligence and do the heat treat correctly. Do something, man. Do something, because it's just, soft M390 is just bullshit, dude. It's like getting a Ferrari. It's like getting a Ferrari and then putting like shit gas in it, dude. Or getting a Ferrari and then putting a 4-cylinder in it. You know what I mean? Like, why would you do that? Like, it's a race car, man. Like, M390 is meant to be a performance steel. Like, it's supposed to be taken over 60, if not 62 plus. And when done that way, if you're using it in a knife application, I mean, you're talking leaps and bounds above what you're going to get at 59 HRC, which is where a lot of companies have been 58 to 60. And it's like, and then they're coming up at 58. Fuck ZT and their M390. Fuck them. But, I mean, like any of those companies, dude, Microtech, horrible HRC on their M390. It's horrible. And I don't understand, because why don't you just use a different steel? If you're thinking like sharpenability and toughness and stuff like that, use a different steel. Like, dude, 154 CM, I think people give it a bad rap. 154 CM's a great steel for like a budget type of knife, 100%. And even in a better knife, when the heat treat's done properly, it strops back amazingly. It takes a wicked edge. I'm tired of people just bashing steels just because they're older. Like, everyone's got to have M390. It's like, what's next? What happens when M390's old? Which it's fucking getting old. Like, I'm tired of M390 at 58 HRC. If you're going to do M390, do it right. If you're going to charge that kind of money for M390, do it right. Like, charge an extra $50 and do it right. but don't do M390 and just half-ass it, because it's a waste. It's a waste. Oh man, it's getting dark here. You guys, it's getting late. Well, not late here. You guys are all a lot later than me, probably. Let's see. Oh yeah, Shiro and ZT are suspected. Yeah, yeah, they're all kind of like, I don't know. I don't trust a lot of those companies. I really enjoy the Koenig areas. Yeah, Koenig seems to do some great stuff. Not had the haven't been able to handle one yet, but I'm sure that eventually I'll get one. It's just one of those things. I heard some not negative, well, just some things about Bill, and I just have not made that jump into Koenig, but eventually I'll try one, I'm sure. I like the knives. They look great. The Koenig Arius looks cool, super thin behind the edge, which is what I'm into, and it's just great action and everything. To be perfectly honest, the one thing that turns me off about it at this point is the bearings. I'm like so far away from bearings at this point. I just don't give a shit for bearings. Like, I have a few bearing knives left, but I'm like really down to like a few. Like, I don't love bearings. They get dirty quicker. They require cleaner knife. Like, you can't get them as dirty. Like, they're not gonna perform. They have a ricketiness to them. I don't know, like, for a lack of better terms, they have this weird looseness about them that just, even when they're tight, like when they're extremely tight, they have a looseness about them because of the bearings. And I like phosphor bronze washers and Teflon and Nylotron much better than bearings at this point in my knife collecting, or whatever you want to call it, because I'm more of a knife user than a knife collector at this point. But yeah, not into bearings as much as I used to be. I liked bearings at one point. I mean, I guess it was just out of ignorance, essentially, a little bit, maybe. But yeah. Let's see. Wait for the Sabinza 31 and S45. Yes, I hope. I'm waiting for that too. I do want to try some S45 from Chris Reeve. And the 31, I'm definitely a 21 fan. I think it was kind of like something they didn't need to do because the 21 is such a perfect knife. But I mean, I'll still probably end up with the 31 at some point. Yeah, I haven't checked out the Spartans yet. I do want to try a Spartan, but again, they have really thick grinds, which is the thing I haven't been into. They have really thick grinds, and I have knives with thick grinds already. I don't need like any tough user type knives right now, and maybe eventually I'll try one just for the hell of it. But hopefully I'll see one at a show when the world opens back up and we actually have knife shows again. Let's see. I think people get emotional attachment to a lot of knives. I think emotional attachment is where a lot of it comes from. I think it's the big problem with, it's like the fanboys. Like, look, I like Spyderco, but if I get a shit Spyderco, I'm not gonna just say it's a great knife just because it's Spyderco. It's still shit, no matter who makes it. I don't understand fanboys. I really don't. It kind of comes back to the whole political thing too. Like, dude, Donald Trump could shit in people's mouths and a lot of people would still support him. And that's where I don't understand people's mentality. Like, I'm tired of people just blindly loving something just because it's this. And it's like, why? Like, if they fuck you in the ass, why are you still supporting them? I just don't get it. I don't, and I think it's mostly manipulation and people not realizing, but yeah, fanboys I don't get fanboys. I really don't. I don't understand the people that just blindly love certain models, certain brands. Like the PM2 is a shit knife. And I know a lot of people might agree with me on that, and a lot of people are going to disagree. PM2 is a horrible knife as far as ED. I mean, the hard edges, there's a lot of things about the PM2 I think are horrible, but and the Para 3 and the military is the best of them all. I don't know why they needed anything other than, like, the military is an amazing knife. I think it's one of my favorite Spydercos, honestly. Convinced. You have a Strider Protect that's the most comfortable knife. Yeah, I don't know. I still think that the wedge, like for me personally, the wedge just doesn't fit my hands. Like I said, your pinky gets smaller. So why would you want your knife to get bigger at the back? Just my thought process. But usually I like knives that have a plain handle. You know what I mean? I don't mind a curve. I don't mind the curve in the back. But it's still pretty simple. You know, even the finger choils, like I could live without it. I like simplicity. I do. I think simplicity usually works. It's there's a reason that, you know, things in life, the things that work and stay true are simple. A wheel, for instance. Very simple, but you're never going to make a better wheel than the wheel, essentially. But yeah, I don't know. It's just my thought process, at least. All right, he's back. I know you've been back for a while, dude. I'm having a problem catching up with all these. You just cut your finger? Dude, come on, man. I don't know if you're messing with me, but damn it, Kiefer. Yeah, Tim, I definitely think that a lot of these companies just do they just do a generic protocol heat treat, and that's why their M390 comes out the same as their S30, and it's like, why use M390 then? You're literally buying a name. You are literally buying a name, because it's not going to perform. It's just not. Sorry guys, my lighting's going to suck now because I'm using the lights in my apartment, but. I don't understand it. I don't understand the whole M390, fiasco. Like that, just everyone's just, oh, M390, it's the best. No, it's not. I'd rather have tool steel any day. And M390 can be like tool steel. When done right, it takes a wicked edge. It's great stuff, but it's not, it's just generic when it's done generically. Gavin Hawk. I haven't gotten to do the Gavin Hawk stuff yet. I haven't really gotten to check that out. But I'd like to, for sure, eventually. Frisco, yeah, buddy, West Coast. So you're at my time. Personally, yeah, bearings and a ballast songs. I don't have any ballast songs personally, but I do like butterfly knives a little, like just because of that thing when I was a kid. But I could never have them, so I just never had butterfly knives. I don't have any. I would mess with it though. I'm someone who's good with my hands, so I'd probably be really good at it. I've done them before, but not to any level of, haven't gotten to any level with it. You wish the G10 on the Super Freak was textured? I don't, but yeah, it's all, different strokes, man. I don't think it needs texture. It's got a lot of curves to the handle already, so I don't think it needs more texture. But a little bit of texture wouldn't hurt it, I don't think. Yeah, right, Kiefer? Yeah, ball bearing, China flipper, and Biden, 2020. Yep, tribalism, 100%, man. Everyone just wants to be part of some tribe and feel like they, fit in some. I don't need to fit in some tribe. Like I fit in this tribe a little bit, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to disagree. Like Elliot, I see you fucking commenting. Elliot and I will go back and forth. I'll argue with Elliot, and I'll argue with Steve, and I'll argue with Clint, and I'll argue with all of you guys. I don't care. It doesn't matter if we argue. It doesn't matter if we disagree. It's okay. It's called being human. It's called being different. It's called being original. I'm tired of fucking people just having this herd mentality. Just because someone believes something doesn't mean you have to believe it. And just because you like someone and they believe it doesn't mean you have to like it too. It's just believe what you believe, man. And it's okay. Even the people that are racist, you know, it's okay, man. You obviously haven't dealt with a lot of people that are of another color that are actually smart and intelligent and nice and good people. And because a lot of it's just your experience with those people. And sometimes people's closed-mindedness to experiencing people of a different race. But, you know, that's their own prerogative, man. I'm all about, you know, you be you do what makes you happy, and if you want to be racist, it's just who you are, man. Whatever. It doesn't bother me. I mean, unless you fucking cross the line, then you might get fucking punched in the nose. But that's the other thing is, people don't want to get punched in the nose when they say something stupid. Fuck that. You need to get punched in the fucking nose when you say something stupid. Yeah, it's true, man. The hobby, it's tribalism, it's everything, man. With everything, everyone just, it's herd mentality. It's just that group think. It's fucking bullshit. We're all going back to 1984 anyways. I don't know if you guys are, you know, into literature. Yeah, dude, the whole thing is bullshit, man. Millie is fantastic. Yes, I know. Elliot is the one who turned me on to Millie, so I love the Millie. It's the best. I want more sprint run Millies. Me too. Yes, please, more sprint run Millies. I'm tired of everything else. The Shaman is great. Yeah, Tungsten Carbide has said that the Shaman is the PM2 killer. I would agree with you, except for the grind on the Shaman. Why the fuck did they grind it so thick? And then if you read, I heard someone tell me like, oh, don't say that. The Shaman's the only thing that has a thick enough tip for me to use it at work and blah, blah, blah. And it's not meant to be like that. It's meant to be a hard user. No. Did anyone read the literature on the Shaman? Read the fucking Shaman literature on Spyderco. It says it was ground thin. That is part of the literature that they describe it as. And I'm like, it wasn't meant to be a thick, hard user. Like, that's not what he was intending. But for some reason, it gets ground out super thick. And I don't understand why. I don't have my Shaman right here, but when I reground my Shaman, dude, that thing's a fucking beast now. It's such a slicer, and it is a PM2 killer. My Shaman is 100% a PM2 killer. But I just gotta say, man, they just didn't do it to the level they could have. The Shaman is one of those knives that it could have been great, but they didn't refine it as much as I feel like they needed to. Like, the edges are sharp on the inside, where they could have knocked that down so easily. The nub, like, why do they need a nub? Someone argued with me because I deleted the nub, and everyone complains about the nub, and he's like, it's so you don't slip on the blade. Dude, look at the Shaman. Look how many contours and finger grooves. And are you really worried about slipping onto the blade on that? Like, seriously? If you're stabbing something, why would you be choked up anyways if you're stabbing somebody? Somebody, I said. If you're stabbing something, why would you be up here? Why wouldn't you be back here stabbing somebody? Like, I don't understand that thought process. Like, or stabbing something. Like, why would you be here, choked up on the Shaman? Like, why do they need a nub right in front of the blade? Sorry, it's bullshit. They don't need the nub because on their other knives that are made just like the Shaman, they don't have a nub there. Look at the, what is the name of that knife? The Brower. I handled one of those. I did a mod for a guy. And the Brower is the exact same shape as the Shaman, but it doesn't have a nub. So I think it's a cop-out. I think it's bullshit. It shouldn't have a nub there, honestly. Tolica Nation. Hell yeah. +1 for the Millie. Hell yeah, the Millie's a great knife, man. And the contouring on the scales, the other two knives aren't made with the same contouring as the Millie. Why? Like, The Para 3 is better than the PM2, but why isn't the Para 3 or the PM2 contoured as much as the military? I don't understand that. I don't understand it at all. Oh, the 8015. Am I interested in trying a Dimco 8015? I am, but I'm not. I like the idea. I like the scorpion lock. It looks cool. It looks like a cool idea. I like the knife in general. I've just heard a lot of stuff about it being super thick. So I just don't need thick, super thick knives. So I'm not really into, I just haven't had the just desire to get one. I do actually want a custom 8015. I don't want the cold steel Taiwanese made one. I want an actual custom 8015 if I'm gonna get an 8015 personally. Bearings are better. What? Bearings are better wheels. Yeah, dude, I'm not saying that bearings don't like have their purpose. Like obviously bearings have their bearings are used in a lot of things that I use. Bearings have their purpose, but I just think in EDC knives, the bearings used in EDC knives are for that drop shetty. It's all about this drop shetty. Bearings in knives generally are just for that action, that swinging action. Unnecessary, in my opinion. Unnecessary. I like my knives to drop, or whatever you want to call. Like, I do like them to drop, but you don't need bearings. You don't need bearings for that. And if anything, this is way smoother than bearing knives that drop shut. This is way smoother. It's like a cloudy feel that you can't even describe compared to, because bearings have a roll. They have a roll feel to them. I don't even have one right here. I'll show you. You could probably hear it, but there's a roll to bearing knives. It's not as smooth as Teflon. Teflon knives are extremely smooth. And they get smoother over time, and you don't even need oil. Like, I don't put any oil on my Teflon knives, and like there's no oil on this, 0. I mean, I don't even, like, I'm barely shaking this, but you don't need oil, and that's why I don't understand this whole bearing, like this bearing craze that everybody has. Honestly, I'd rather have phosphor bronze washers than bearings, and I'd probably rather have Teflon than phosphor bronze, depending on the knife, obviously, but I'm super happy with phosphor bronze on Chris Reeves. I don't need like Teflon in every knife, but I would rather have washers than bearings on knives, personally. And it's my own prerogative. It's my own taste. So, I mean, there's nothing against bearing knives. People love bearings. It's fine. Yeah, the Shaman's thick, man. It's just the base. And yes, 1984 is a great book, man. I think everyone should have to read that, especially right now. Everyone should have to read 1984 because, dude, they are going for communism or some kind of government control. And if people can't see that, it's fucking absurd. We need some. Yes, we need more tool steel millies. Please give me some tool steel and millie. Like, if I could get a 4V millie, oh man, I'd be stoked. Or anything, crewwear, anything like that. K390. Yeah, K390 is some great stuff, man. I like K390 a lot. I like a lot of those steels that people just don't use. What am I drinking? Oh, I have a Sierra Nevada. I've been totally babysitting this thing because I'm talking. It's kind of warm. Ugh. I mean, it's still good, but it's not the same. Open to ground control, yeah. I don't think I've had ground control. Maybe I have. I've had so many beers in my day. I don't even know. Maybe I had that one. SE. SE, SE, I don't have anything wrong with SE. I think I had one. My buddy loves SE. He has 2 of them. I have nothing against SE. SE's a good company, you know. Again, like a lot of these companies are just dry grind, which I think they need to stop. I think everyone should be using water when they're grinding. And the cop out is like, oh, it's so expensive. No, it's not. It's not expensive, and it actually saves money in the end because you may have to set up another, you know, like catching the water in a way to keep it clean and stuff like that. But like, and you have to set up your grinder so you're not electrocuting yourself and stuff like that. But in the end, it would actually save these companies money if they went to wet grinding because their belts last longer and they're not burning their steels after they spend all that money on heat treat. It's a cop out, and I'm tired of companies that dry grind. And SE is one of them. I'm sure they do a good job. You know, they probably change their belts constantly, but still, why don't they switch to wet grinding? I don't understand what a lot of these companies are doing. Yeah, Timbo. Yeah, you gotta regrind the Shaman, man, and it makes it such a better knife, man. It's so much better with a thinner grind, and a lot of people can, you know, if you want a thick knife, you know, there's other knives out there, and the Shaman, if that's what they want, you know, the Shaman to be thick, it's fine. Doesn't mean I can't regrind mine to be thin and actually cut stuff, but it's again comes down to, you know, your own personal preference. Everything comes down to preference. That's why I don't understand why everyone can jump into one pool or into two parties. Because, man, seriously, like all these billions of people can fit into two parties? It blows my mind that people can even think that. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Timbo. I love what he just said. Okay, so Timbo says guards to keep from slipping onto a blade are basically training wheels for knives. Yes. If you don't know how to use your knife, don't buy a knife, please. Learn how to fucking use a knife, and then you won't need fucking training wheels. Manners vanish as punch becomes extinct. Yes. Yes. Fucking people need to get punched in the fucking nose, man. I'm tired of this shit. These kids grow up with no respect. Fucking no respect. And I know that people probably said that about people said about that about my generation when I was growing up, and people want to put me into a fucking millennial generation. Fuck you. And anyone who wants to think I'm like some like 20-year-old, okay, I'm not. Okay, I'm closer to 40 than I am to 30, and I'm not a little fucking kid. And even when I grew up in my time with my generation of people, I didn't fit in my generation. I am an old school. People usually said they felt like I had an old soul. I am all about the fucking cowboy ways, dude. If you fucking grab my girlfriend's ass, just expect to get fucking knocked out. And that's it. And I don't need to go to jail. We can give it right there and there. Let's take care of it. If he beats my ass, he beats my ass. And then I have to fucking deal with it. You know what I mean? That's life. That's called fucking paying your dues for what you do. That's it. You fucking do something stupid, you need to get knocked out. That's just the way it is. You do something bad as a kid, you need to get fucking spanked. I'm sorry. Like, it's just the way it is. Oh, yeah, man. Some kids just don't listen to people trying to... I see people, like, arguing with their 3-year-old. It's like, dude, you can't reason with a 3-year-old. You need to tell him yes, no. That's it, dude. And when you say no and they don't listen, or if you tell them to stop something and they don't listen, they need to be punished. If you don't punish them, they end up being a bunch of fucking pricks. And that's what we have. We have a bunch of kids that don't have any respect. We have a bunch of adults that don't have any respect because they forgot what it was like when they were kids. When did everyone forget how to drive? The passing lane is on the left. You're not supposed to drive in the left lane. I see old people that probably taught me how to drive, driving in the left lane going 60. Hey, if you think I'm going too fast, that's fine. Let the cops pull me over. But get the fuck out of the way. Like, when did we all decide it was our responsibility to make someone behind us drive slower? You're meant to get out of the way, let someone pass. What if someone has an emergency? What if they've got a fucking bleeding kid in the back? You know, like, you don't know. Get the fuck off your high horse and stop trying to police the people. Like, I just don't understand people's mentality. I don't understand where these old people think like, did you forget how to drive? Did you forget that you taught me how to drive and that you're supposed to pass on the left? Like little things like that I just don't understand where people's mentality is. I really don't. Anyways, I'm off on a tangent again. People need to get punched in the nose, though. 100%. Once you go thick, you never go back. Yeah, Kiefer. I wish I would make a frame lock PM too skinny. That's interesting. I do love it. Well, yeah, I mean, I love the Millie, and I've never had the frame lock Millie, but even the liner lock Millie's just an excellent knife, man. If you keep doing these live chats. I'm sorry? I'm not understanding. If you keep doing these live chats, you need to set your own chat to live, not top. I don't know what you're saying there, man. I'm trying to understand, but not top. I don't know what that means. Slow drop shut, free fall for me. Oh yes, slow. I don't think people realize that. There's a difference between a slow drop shut. It's really cool, actually. See that? See how it just kind of like cloud, like floats down? It's not like a slam, like bearing knives, man. You release it and it's like, it just like slams down, and that's not as controlled. It's not as cool as when you actually have something that kind of just cloudy drops. Even this, this is like, even though this drops fast, it's still got more of a cloudy type of feel to it. It's got that like almost like it would take 5 minutes for this thing to drop if I just let it go. You see that? I'm not shaking it. I'm not doing anything. It's just slowly dropping. That is actually way more enjoyable than these bearing knives that just slam shut. Personally, I think it's fucking really cool. Yes, thank you for that comment. It's very true. Yeah, quiet carries seem nice. I would like to try some quiet carries. They seem to be nice. Brave New World and Fahrenheit. Yeah, both great. Yes, Brave New World is a great book. They're both great books. I haven't read all the way through. I think Fahrenheit 451 though. Animal Farm, dude, 100%. People need to read Animal Farm. Yes, the left lane is the passing lane, not even the fast lane. We can call it the fast lane, but the left lane is a passing lane. You're supposed to pass on the left and then get back over and then let the faster traffic go by. And then if you get behind someone slow, you pass them. And that's why there's 4 lanes, so you can kind of spread out and still have a passing lane on the left. I don't think people understand how you're supposed to drive. Nobody understands the rules of the road. That's also the thing. No one's relied to remember the rules of the road, and there's laws and what that sign means and what this means, and nobody gives a fuck anymore. Yes, dude, just drivers in general. People just are fucking idiots, man. Yeah, they do. Yes, that is one of the reasons. And when I moved back to California when I was 30, whatever, I think it was 33 or something, or no, shit, I'm losing track of time, 31. When I moved back to California, I had to get my license. I had to take the test again, and I was dumbfounded by how easy the fucking test was. When I was a kid, I had to take, it was like, dude, you had to study, and it was like 50-something questions, and it was fucking hard. I remember sitting there, and I mean, I still aced it. Like, I still did really well on my test when I was 16, but it was like, I had to study. I had to practice. I had to make sure I knew, because they had these trick questions that would, like, throw you off if you weren't paying attention, and, like, it was hard to get your license, and you had to go through all this stuff. Nowadays, it's like, bro, it was like 10 questions on a computer. I couldn't believe it. I was like, that's it? And then there was a lady next to me that could barely see that got her license, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, oh, god damn it, dude. That's why these kids get their license and they don't know how to drive. It's fucking horrible. American Lawman. Okay, sorry, Matt, if you've asked this a long time ago and I'm finally getting to it. I like the American Lawman. I have one, and I don't carry it a lot, to be honest. American Lawman's a well-made knife. It's hollow ground, which is nice. Some of them are still kind of thick, even though they're hollow ground. Some of them are really well ground. It's a great knife. I just don't get the joy out of it like I do my other knives, honestly. I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's a backlock, which I don't mind. It's a great knife, dude. I got nothing against it. I've really been trying to carry it again because I haven't been, but it's just, I don't know what it is about that knife. I just don't. And cold steel in general, it just doesn't give me the joy. It might be partly because Lynn Thomas is kind of a tool, but I don't know. I mean, he's probably a nice enough guy. He's just, dude, his videos just make me laugh. Like, that guy is way too fucking fat to be doing the stuff he does. I mean, lose some weight, bro. He's like struggling to breathe when he cuts a tube of toilet paper or something. I don't know. It's just funny to me. But I think it's a great knife. American Lawman's a nice knife. A great EDC knife, 100%. And XHP is a great steel that should be used more than it is. Great XHP is a great steel. Excellent. Yeah, it's great for the money, like Tungsten Carbide said. It's a great knife for the money. So you can see your chats in real time. Oh, top chat is... Oh, I didn't know that, man. Again, I'm kind of a idiot when it comes to technology. That's also why my channel, like when people want me to do like the timestamp thing, like, dude, I'm doing this on my phone. My channel has been pretty much on my iPhone. That's what I've done. And I'm not a technology guy. I really am not. I was like the last person in my generation probably in an iPad, or not iPad, Jeez, I can't even remember what it's fucking called. Yeah, my iPod. My iPod is like, I was like the last one to get an iPod. I was the last one to get anything. I love records. I'm kind of, like I said, I'm kind of an old school dude, even though I was born in '83. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm kind of like stupid when it comes to this stuff. So if someone can help me learn how to do, like, put the chat at the top, that would be great. Or if you can help me, if you can let me know. But I don't know how to do that. I'll try and figure it out. American Lawman is an excellent knife. Yes, it is. Everyone can probably attest to that. It's a great knife, man. There's nothing wrong with it. I wish I carried it more. I need to carry mine more. It fucking has my initials on it. I found a knife online. Excuse me. I found a knife that had my initials. It was dumbfounding. And it was an XHP, which I know they changed to S35 now, so it's not quite as appealing with S35. I don't know why. I hear it's about being able to get XHP, but weird opinion. The feel of G10 to carbon fiber. Dude, that's not that weird of an opinion, dude, to be honest with you. There is something about G10, and there's something about micarta, actually. I love micarta, probably more than any material. There's something about the texture. There's something about the warmth of G10, honestly. I like G10. G10's a great material. Micarta's a great material. I like titanium too, but there's definitely something about that warmness of G10. And honestly, like, if you're doing something gnarly, like skateboarding or doing something active, titanium's not the best thing to have in your pocket. I have to be honest. When I'm doing something like that, if I'm skating or if I'm doing something like that, running, titanium, for one, it's heavier, obviously. But if you fall on a titanium knife, it's going to be unforgiving. And not to the knife, to your body. I don't know if you've ever had a knife in your pocket and fall on a knife. And not even like if it's open or something, but fall on the knife. It hurts. It's not going to give. It's not going to flex. It's not going to, so there are a lot of things about G10 I actually prefer. It's actually why, like, something like the the bug out, it's great to have on me. And honestly, even though the plastic scales aren't that bad, because the plastic scales flexed and they moved. So if it was in your like pajama pants or something like that, and you bumped into your wife, for instance, you're not gonna hurt her with your knife because it's hard. It's gonna give. It's gonna have some give to it, and I think that's kind of nice, to be honest. So I'm not a hater of G10. I love G10 as well. It depends on the application, personally. Application is king, always in knives, I believe. Always. In most of the things we do, application is king. I think that people miss that. I have a fucking van. A lot of guys would probably make fun of me because I have a minivan, okay? But with my lifestyle, with how I live, and I had a truck for years, as you guys know. I mean, I had a truck. I just took my wife's van when she left, but it was like, because the van was newer, and there's a lot of reasons I'm not going to get into, but it's because of my lifestyle. I can throw surfboards in that van. I can throw my camping gear in that van. I can throw everything in that van. I can sleep in that van if my life gets shit. So honestly, man, it's just application, man. If you have a big truck and you just drive to work and home, you're a fucking tool too. Because why do you need a big fucking 8-cylinder triple diesel 450 to drive 6 miles to work? So application is king. But if you're driving and you have to tow a boat all the time and you have to do this and that, it makes sense to have a truck like that. So application is king. And I think that's what people miss in the knife world. I think that so many people get so focused on like, well, this knife is shit. And it's like, well, let's look at the application of the knife. Is it actually made to a certain specification for a certain type of application? And then that's it, man. It's just, I think people get so stuck in like their own mentality. And it's also because of social media and shit like that. Everyone just looks at their own world all day long instead of having to deal with other people and deal with their worlds. And it's just groupthink. And everyone is watching their own feed, and they don't even know that some of the other things going on. People don't even see these videos of Joe Biden being a dumb shit because on NBC they're not going to show that. You know what I mean? So it's just the way it is, man. People are just so stuck in their own world. Yeah, on their phone. I do everything on my phone, Elliot. I know you do too. I know a lot of guys do, but I'm just not very tech savvy. Anyone here in their 30s and 40s still watch anime? I don't watch anime. I never did, so I can't really comment on that. I've never really been into anime. Yeah, I agree. We live in a world where it's so comfortable we don't have to think. Everybody just, it's also a thing of like, if you grew up in our time, if you grew up in the 80s and 90s and or before that, obviously a lot of my viewers might be older, but if you grew up in that time, you had to go research. You had to go look for things. It wasn't so easy. Everything's so easy nowadays that people don't even want to fucking watch my video. They ask me a question before they even watch the video. It's like, dude, did you even watch it? 5 minutes in, I told you. You know what I mean? But they just want the quick answer. They want the easy, quick answer. And it's just not how the world is, man. Or it is, but it shouldn't be. It should be. You should be at least know how to go look for it if you don't, if you can't find it. Textured carbon fiber is pretty cool, yeah. And G10, I like every material, honestly, for a different application, always. Oh, born in 59, Timbo? I didn't realize you were that old. I mean, you're not old, you're just older than me, like you're like in between me and my parents essentially, but yeah, dude, that's badass, dude. Honestly, I feel like I was born. I wish I lived in the 60s. I wish I was born in the 50s, honestly. It's a simpler time. Things were just, and everyone was more respectful, and everything was just a little bit more, just what you see is what you get kind of thing. Yeah, XHP from Cold Steel was great. I don't know why it was stupid to switch to S35. I think it was they were having trouble getting the XHP. It was easier to get S35, so they stopped doing it. But that's what I heard, at least. Oh, dude. Yes. Baton Scuds. I'm sorry if sucks. I probably just destroyed your name, but saying the highway is staring at their phones, dude. When I see people going 70, looking at their fucking phone, I seriously want to I want to pull in front of them, stop them, and punch them in the fucking nose, dude. That is the most irresponsible thing you could possibly do, is be looking at your phone going 70 miles an hour on the fucking highway or faster. I can't believe people, dude. People just don't care about anybody but themselves these days. It's fucking sickening, dude. I agree. As soon as you get in your fucking car, your phone should shut off, dude. This is saying like, on your phone there should be a drop down button right next to. Oh, so this is instead of top chat. On your phone there should be a drop down button right next to the chat. Oh, let me see. I'll try and figure this out. Oh, live chat. Done. Thanks for helping me out, bro. It's done. I'm on live chat. I don't know. I really don't know exactly what that's going to do, but thank you if you've done something better for this chat. Yeah. Okay, so Tungsten Carbide's saying that he does construction, and that's why he likes G10. Yes, absolutely. Mike Carta as well, yes. Because when you get something, if something hits your leg or something, it makes sense. And honestly, G10 is very durable. It's not going to scratch. There's a lot of things about G10 I like a lot. So G10 is great material. I believe it. I think it's all about that application. North Arm Skaha. Yeah, I've never tried a North Arms. I definitely would try one. The Skaha looks cool. It's very simple, and I like simplistic things that are well done. Mark, yeah, dude, love the minivan, dude. I gotta say, man, I have no issues with my masculinity. I know people like, you got the big truck, they're missing something else maybe, but I got no problem with my masculinity. I'll rock the minivan, dude. Get the fuck out. I don't care. Yeah, the minivan's pretty much a truck bed that's just, it's temp regulated essentially. That's what I believe, man. Yeah, we had to use maps, 100%, dude. What would happen if there was a solar flare? These kids couldn't even get to the fucking supermarket, man. Including my ex-wife, dude. It was horrible. It was upsetting to me at times. Like, you don't know how to get there? Like, you've been there a million times. You don't know how to get there? Oh, god damn it, man. People is so reliant on technology. Oh yeah, I'm not even a Trump guy, honestly, Matt. I'm not and I'm not saying, I'm a reality guy, dude. And Biden's a fucking retard. Biden can't even get a sentence out. He's obviously reading a fucking, a teleprompter. He's a puppet. He is a puppet, a political puppet. And he's been in office for 40 fucking plus years. I don't think anyone should be a career politician. 100% should eliminate career politicians. One of the issues with our political, where we're at right now is political. A politician should be someone like you or I that has to, run for office and has their day job and they do it because they love it. That's how you get people that want to make a good difference, man. Yeah, Trump's a puppet. Look, dude, that's why I said I didn't, when I got into politics, or the reason I never did is because I don't believe in either. I think both sides are about money and agenda. Both sides have issues, 100%. I don't agree 100% with either side. Yes, 100% no career politicians. They need term limits. I can't believe that you got people that are literally just trying to get elected the next time. There's nothing about they want to change the world or anything. It's just about, I need to get elected because I need to pay my bills. Like, I need to keep making a shitload of money. You know, it's like, it's just a fucked mentality, man. Dude, that's, yeah, you've fixed your Xbox controller. That's fucking solid, dude. Yeah, repair it, man. Take care of your shit. Take care of it. It's just like my knives. I take care of my shit, man. I don't like having to spend money again when I spent it. I think it was. Oh, you figured I'd be a Biden guy because of my dreads, man. That's another thing, Matt. But that's where I think people make assumptions, just like with racism. People make assumptions that if you're black, you're gonna be some idiot, or you know, like. I think the stereotyping of people is part of the issue, but I understand that stereotyping is how we protect ourselves. I stereotype. Everyone does. If I see a gangster walking my way with fucking pants hanging off and shit, of course I'm gonna, I'm gonna make sure I keep my I'm just gonna make assessment of the situation. As soon as I talk to him, I might change my approach. Because there's a lot of people I've talked to in the past, bums, whatever it may be, people that you didn't think you wanted to talk to, and next thing you know, they taught you something. I wrote a song when I was probably 18 or 19 years old, and it was all about everyone can teach you something. Everyone has something to say, and you can learn from it. So I learned, I try to not make assumptions about people. It happens in everything, dude. You'll see the guy, like in surfing, I know a lot of you guys probably aren't surfers, but you'll see the guy that walks in with, walks down to the beach with his yellow piece of shit surfboard that has duct tape all over it, and fucking, you're just like, this guy's gonna be horrible, and he's the best surfer out there. You will be surprised by people. A lot of times people with me, they looked at my dreads, they looked at me like I'm not I wear t-shirts, I'm wearing a fucking Pink Floyd t-shirt, like a lot of people look at me and they'll think I'm just gonna be some idiot, some hippie, or some, like I'm not gonna have anything intelligent to say. Well, guess what? You should probably keep your mouth shut until I open mine, because if you want to talk shit, I'll come at you with fucking facts, like, or if you want to brawl, like, I'm a small guy, but fuck, I grew up playing hockey. And if you think you're going to assess me as a small guy and think you're going to beat my ass, you better be ready, because I'm not just going to roll over and let you beat my ass. We're going to the fucking ground, bro. Like, I just think people need to take more, and this also comes back, Matt, this also comes back to the thing where people don't know that they might get knocked out like they used to. Back when we were kids, it was like, if you said something stupid, you better be ready, or if you talk shit to the wrong person, dude. I remember I was in like 6th grade or something, and I had a friend, and he was in judo, and I remember, like, we used to argue sometimes. We were friends. We never, like, really wanted to fight. But then one day, I think we got in an argument. I forget what it was about. And I went to fight him. And he was, like, my size. So I was like, oh, this is going to be easy. Because everyone was always bigger than me. And the guy fucking dropped me on my head before I knew what the fuck happened. Like, literally dropped me on my head. I was unconscious. Like, I woke up like, what the fuck just happened? And he just dropped me is what happened. And you learn really quick, like, you better not mouth off unless you're ready to pay the consequence, or, if you're ready to duke it out. I mean, that was just the way it was. And now it's like, that's not the case. And I think it makes people way more mouthy, way more, and even in the sense of like Black Lives Matter and stuff, you can't say certain things, but they can say whatever the fuck they want. It's just it's just double standard bullshit, hypocritical, hypocriticism, fuck all that. Oh shit, I got way behind. All right, I'm gonna try and catch up here. Yes, fuck vaccines, fuck all that tungsten carbide. Less women's rights. Yeah, I mean, I'm all for women's rights, but dude, there's a place, we have to look at our strengths and our weaknesses. I'm tired of people thinking like, just like, I don't know, the whole women's rights thing is an interesting thing. Like, I think they should be able to vote. I think they should be able to do all these things. But honestly, you want to have a woman play hockey with a man? Really? Like, no. No. You don't want to play, women can play football? Like, unless they're, like, really steroided up, I just wouldn't highly suggest that. Now you see it in real time. Okay. Thank you, Inner City Pigeon. I mean, I didn't know how, like, but thank you for doing that. It's awesome. Yes, Elliot Biden is not fit to run for presidency. I don't know how he even got to where he's at, to be honest. Okay, the live chat. Sorry, guys. I don't know what I'm doing with some of this stuff. So if you guys can help me, that's awesome. Thanks for the help, and glad we're back to like live chat where it's supposed to be or something. James Brand trying to bring, yeah, fuck all that mess. The hipsters. I don't understand the hipsters, dude. It's just, I don't fucking understand it. Yeah, I do think that Trump's a puppet as well. I do think I think they're all puppets in some way or another. Yeah, BP69. I didn't mean for it to diversify. It's just the way life is going. BP said, like, this channel's really diversified. Yeah, I didn't mean for it to get into politics, but it's just the way life is going right now that it's just, it's hard not to talk about what's going on in front of us and not to be, because I have an opinion. I have a solid opinion about the way things should be, and I think we all do, and I think as an intelligent individual, I should be able to, I should express how I feel and how I think people should express how they feel. I think everyone should be able to express how they feel without being attacked at every corner. Yes, I do agree. The women and men should have the same requirements. If you're going to be equal, you should have the same requirement, 100%. I'm not saying, men are better than women or anything, but if you're going for something, you should be as good, if not better, or you should be, there shouldn't be, like, different rules for different people if we're playing the same thing. It's just not the way it should be. Yeah, I don't think Biden's fit to even wake up in the morning, honestly, but he's kind of a piece of shit. Right, Elliot. Oh, okay, I actually caught up. I haven't checked out a Malibu yet, Gamma, but I really do want a Malibu. I like the Malibu. I like the Mordax, and I want to get rid of the Mordax because I don't want to support Ferrum Forge. And I think if you've been following my channel long enough, you know why I don't want to support Ferrum Forge. But I want to get rid of my Mordax and get the Malibu, honestly, 100%. I like Protec, so I do want to support Protec. Yeah, it's all politicized, including YouTube. Hey, David. What's up, buddy? Yeah, thanks for stopping by, man. I'm sure you probably already left by the time I caught up, but yeah, it's been fun, man. Just trying to catch up with everybody. Just got the Newport. Yeah, Protec makes a good knife, man. I have a Protec Emerson. I think you guys, if you have watched enough, I have Protec Emerson CQC7, and it's a great knife, man. I have a Protec. I have the Mordax as well. It's a great knife. Protec makes a good knife, man. Really good auto. I'm not a huge auto fan, but my Protec Emerson fires like a champ, man. It's got kick, and it's great knife. And the micarta's done excellently. The fit and finish is excellent. Everything about it. Yeah, super snappy, Matt. Super snappy. What's wrong with Ferrum Forge? Oh, man, Tungsten, you're going to have to go back and watch. You're gonna have to go back in the past and see some of that, because I can't. I'm not gonna be able to tell the whole story right now. In fact, I need to start cooking dinner. So, and this chat's gone on for almost 2.5 hours now. I think that's what that is. Yeah, 200 minutes. So, I'm gonna have to get off here shortly. But I gotta cook. But as far as Fair and Forge, they just did some shady shit, in my opinion. It's just, I had personal conversations with Fair and Forge. Like, I went to their shop because I live in South Orange County, and I could go to San Diego and meet the guys. So I went to Fair and Forge. I met them. I had some great conversations with Chris and Elliot, and then when the whole thing came up with HRC and HRC matters and all that bullshit that happened a year or so ago. Elliot made some choices that were very interesting and kind of went against every conversation we ever had, everything he's ever said on YouTube. He just became kind of a tool, and he was always kind of a bit of a tool. You know, if you watch his videos, you'll see he's kind of condescending, and he thinks he's right about everything, and he's got that scientific brain. And I know sometimes I probably come off that way a little bit too as well, but it's on another level, and he's very condescending and very hard to deal with. And then when he came out with this video kind of contradicting everything he had ever said to me, everything he had ever said on his YouTube channel, I kind of lost all respect for Elliot and Chris. If you're talking about Elliot from Fair and Forge, his channel is, I think it's Fair and Forge. I'm not sure what their channel is called. I think it's Fair and Forge. I'd have to look, but yeah, if you look at their channel, Elliot and Chris Williamson's channel, their Fair and Forge channel, they talked about HRC back years ago, and then you'll see a video. I don't know if they took it down, but they had a video where they talked about he talked about HRC, and it's so contradicting and so condescending, and it was just really bad. It was really bad, especially in the middle of, all right, later, guys. Yeah, it's in the middle of what was going on. It was just super condescending, and it gave a really bad impression of him in my eyes. So, and a lot of people. Later, Timbo. Good to see you, buddy. It's great. Great to see you guys, man. I need to get on here more. Should do more videos like this. Yeah, thanks a lot, Gamma. I honestly, I'm definitely going to do more lives because I think this is better anyways. I'd rather chat with you guys. I'd rather talk about situations, talk about things, than doing the videos sometimes. It's just kind of just, you know, me talking, and I don't like that as much. Thanks. Yeah, later, guys. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming along. It was really fun, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for chatting. And have a great night. I'll see you on the next one. I'm hoping to do more soon. Like I said, maybe I'll just start doing these lives because I like the conversation better than me just talking. And yeah, I'm not a fan either, man. But it's because of all that situation that happened. And yeah, the Gent is nice. The Gent's a nice knife. I got rid of mine just because of my feelings about the guys, but the Gent's a nice knife. And drop in general, honestly. Like, I think there's just a little bit of an issue with that. But later, Aaron. Thanks for joining. Yeah, I'm gonna get going because I do have to cook and it's getting late. And yes, fuck mass drop, Elliot. Thank you. And if anyone is wondering where Elliot's channel is, Sharp Thinking right here. Go check out Sharp Thinking. Go check out Alchemy One. Later, Elliot. Go check out Super Steel Steve, even though he doesn't make videos anymore. Check out all my buddies, man. Big Red EDC. There's so many good channels out there. So many good, videos out there, and people that are telling the truth, man. Nero Knives, BJ Hill, all these guys. But yeah, what's for dinner? I think I got some pork chops and I think I'm gonna do Brussels sprouts. Got some stuff, but. Steve's fine. Steve's good. He's just busy with life like all of us, man. And YouTube just is taking a back seat to a lot of what's going on in people's lives right now. Instagram's a little bit easier to just kind of pop in and pop out. YouTube's definitely more involved when you're making videos, editing, and then going through the whole process of answering questions. I got to answer questions on fucking videos I made, 2 years ago. So it's more involved, but that's why Steve hasn't been present. But Steve's present. Steve's in the community. He's on Instagram. He's been around, but everyone's good. Everyone's happy, healthy, and I think we've all been going through the shit. I went through a little bit of extra shit, and I know that other people have gone through a little bit of extra shit than other people, just dealing with the COVID and the Black Lives Matter and the fucking political and the... Oh, goddamn, dude. We've had an interesting 2020. But what do you expect when it's a year where we're voting? Every time it comes along, we end up with some kind of bullshit. So here we are again. And with that, I'll say good night, everybody. And I'll see you guys on the next one. And thanks for coming along. Good night.